classic battle of the prolific passing attack of the 49ers' Joe Montana and his favorite target, Dwight Clark, the leading receiver in the conference. Against a strong Kansas City pass defense, the Niners will be tested by the likes of Eric Harris, who returned this interception 56 yards for a touchdown last week. The Chiefs with their best weapon against the 49ers' best, with awfully slim playoff hopes on the line.
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the San Francisco 49ers against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Slim playoff hopes hanging by a thread for both the 49ers and the Chiefs before a sparse gathering here at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City as we welcome you. Taking a look at the NFC standings, and you look at the leaders, keep in mind that 8 teams will qualify for the Super Bowl tournament. The 49ers are 2-5. They could get into the playoffs at 4-5. To do it, they must win this game against the Chiefs next week in the finale against the Rams. Meanwhile, the Giants, Tampa Bay, and Detroit all must lose one game. It can get complicated, but the 49ers could get into the playoffs. They also will be playing for pride. Bill Walsh not happy with the way the 49ers have been, and of course they had a physical loss to Atlanta last week. I'm Dick Stockton along with Jim Hill, whose cousin is Gary Green, the all-pro cornerback for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's getting married on Tuesday, but I think right now his mind is not on his bride, perhaps, but on Dwight Clark, Jim.
It better be on Dwight Clark and Freddie Solomon. I'm sure that that rope that Gary's going to use to tie the knot with on Tuesday, he'd like to tie those two gentlemen down just for about 3 hours this afternoon, because we know that the Kansas City Chiefs do have a fine defensive unit. And on the contrary to that, though, the San Francisco 49ers have been struggling this year running their game, so I think they're going to try and run just a little bit more this afternoon to give their defensive unit just a little bit of rest, because the defensive unit has come under a lot of criticism this year. The strength of the Kansas City Chiefs, their tremendous defensive secondary, which may not be as aggressive as that of the Atlanta Falcons, but it is still every bit as talented, and another good test for Joe Montana and the offensive unit of the San Francisco 49ers, and the kickoff is just seconds away.
All right, Jimmy, and you're looking at Ray Wersching, who missed a field goal last week in the loss to Atlanta. Of course, the defeat did not rest on his shoulders. The 49ers with a chance. Actually, the Chiefs also have an opportunity, and deep for Kansas City, Anthony Hancock, number 82, the leading #1 draft choice for the Chiefs, and he's back there with Deron Cherry and Derwood Rockmore up front. But basically a single safety back there for the Chiefs, and Wersching getting set to kick off. The 49ers in white, in red, and the Chiefs in their home red uniforms. Underway in Kansas City, end over end, and it's Hancock from Tennessee at the 3. Hancock shows his speed and brings it out to the 32-yard line. And the tackle there is by Ronnie Lott. So it's 1st and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs. And let's take a look at their offense right now. The quarterback is Bill Kenny. They've had problems at quarterback. Billy Jackson and James Hadnock, the running backs. Carlos Carson and Henry Marshall are the outside receivers. Al Dixon, the tight end. Herkenhoff, Buddy, Rudney, Simmons, and Charlie Getty up front for the Chiefs. 1st and 10 at the 33. And up the middle is Hadnot for a couple of yards. Carson was in motion. This is a blood in the mud running attack with 2 fullbacks really starting, Billy Jackson and James Hadnot. 49ers have a 3-4 defensive line. Stuckey, Kugler, Hardy against the run. Fred Dean, of course, comes in on passing situations. The linebackers, Ed Judy is starting in place of Willie Harper, Reynolds, Horn, and Turner. Ronnie Lott, Eric Wright, Dwight Hicks, and Rick Jervis, who's playing in place of Carlton Williamson, who's hurt. And here is Hadnot again, going outside, has a 1st down, and ridden out of bounds just short of midfield. Dwight Hicks made the hit on James Hadnot, who gained 49 yards against Denver and is a real strong blocker inside. Showed a little outside speed there.
And that's very unusual for the Kansas City Chiefs to get to the outside on anyone, because, as we all know, Joe Delaney is their real outside threat. He has practiced all week. He's still just a little bit injured. They don't want to take too much of a chance with him, and that's why they have 2 fullbacks in there this afternoon.
So they also have the both wide receivers, Carson and Henry Marshall, split to the left. 1st and 10 at the 49. Terry Beeson is in the inside linebacking spot, number 63. Kenny's quick toss to Marshall. And Marshall gets close to the 41-yard line and very close to another first down. He may have it. Keena Turner and Eric Wright make the stop on Henry Marshall, a 10-yard pickup. He is the leading receiver and one of the leaders in the league with 31 receptions. And when you average that out over a full schedule, that'd be a lot of catches.
Certainly would be. He is one of the outstanding receivers in the National Football League. Of course, he is big, which is one of his greatest assets. It's tough to bring a big wide receiver down. Reminds you a lot of Otis Taylor.
And they all remember Otis Taylor here in Kansas City on those great Kansas City teams, Super Bowl champions. In motion is Henry Marshall, 1st and 10. And carrying the ball for the first time, Billy Jackson from Alabama. Hit by Terry Beeson, who played 5 years with the Seattle Seahawks and then was traded to Atlanta, was waived, and then the 49ers picked him up. But here's Billy Jackson, who's a strong running back, as we said, fullback. Joe Delaney ordinarily would start at the halfback spot, and Billy also gained 49 last week against the Broncos. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9 at the 39-yard line. Chiefs moving the ball. They have had trouble scoring this year. This is basically a defensive-oriented team. Penalty marker down, and Hadnot carries off left tackle. And he gets inside the 35-yard line. Keena Turner on the tackle of Hadnot. The movement was on the right side of the 49ers line, and that's the call. Offsides against San Francisco. And the Chiefs will accept that penalty. Moving closer. The referee today is Jerry Seaman. And let's hear it.
Offside, number 58, offense.
That was Keena Turner, the man who made the tackle on the play. So now let's call it 2nd and 4 at the 34-yard line for Kansas City. Bill Kenny regained the starting role and played all the way against Denver. He and Steve Fuller have been going back and forth in the starting quarterback role. The give is to Hadnot, finds a hole up the middle and gets inside the 30, and another first down for the Chiefs. This time the nose tackle Pete Kugler makes the tackle for San Francisco, and another first down. They're moving the ball. Surprisingly so, moving it against a formerly tough San Francisco defensive unit. But a lot of people are wondering why in the world the 49ers have been having problems this year. It's because of Dwayne Bourg, the fine defensive end who went out with the first game. It's very simple. You lose a player like that whose leadership abilities and playing capabilities are out for the year, and it hurts everyone. So 1st and 10 for the Chiefs on the 49ers 29-yard line, and here's Jackson trying to find some room, and he does. He gets to the 24-yard line, and so far the Chiefs have been able to run inside and outside against San Francisco. Terry Beeson, by the way, replaced Jack Reynolds, who was shaken up on the first play of the ball game. So Billy Jackson, blood in the mud is a running attack, is what Marv Levy called the tandem of Hadnot and Jackson last week. Joe Delaney, really the speedster on the club. Strained knee, didn't play against Denver. He could play today. 2nd and 5 at the 24. In motion is Carlos Carson. The flip to Hadnot. Hadnot carries a few tacklers, has a first down inside the 20. It was Pete Kugler and Dwight Hicks from the secondary that brought down Hadnot, and he's not an easy back to bring down, Jim. As big as he is, he certainly isn't. And one of the reasons why the Chiefs are having success at running right now, as you mentioned, is because Jack Reynolds is out. When you lose a linebacker the caliber of a Jack Reynolds, you lose his, he calls all the defensive signals, the audibles on defense, and he's a tremendous tackler anyway. They're taping him up on the sidelines, and we expect to see Jack Reynolds back. And we'll see if he comes back in time. The Chiefs moving the ball practically at will. 1st and 10 at the 17 of the 49ers. They have 4 first downs on this drive. At the 17, Hadnot. This time they don't fool the Niners. They were quick to clog the middle against him. Bill Kenny started the first 3 games this year and then was replaced by Steve Fuller. He won the job back with an impressive 4th quarter performance against the Raiders. But Kansas City people are not happy with their quarterback situation, Kenny nor Steve Fuller, and you can see a change there next year, perhaps.
I think so, and that can always be a very discouraging thing to an offensive unit, because when you have two men who are fighting for the quarterback position, they are afraid to make mistakes, or always thinking that they're going to be pulled out.
Marv Levy, after a 9-7 record and near playoffs last year, struggling this time. 2nd and 9, and it's Hadnot trying to go outside. 49ers close it down. And a fumble knocked out of bounds, and did the 49ers have possession before the ball went out of bounds? And no, the answer is it's still Kansas City ball. Keena Turner recovered the ball, and then it went out of bounds.
The ball was recovered out of bounds.
It was Turner out of bounds. Let's see how close the 49ers came to recovering a fumble right here. Arguing is Dwight Hicks.
The key to the whole thing here is 58 Keena Turner, and watch how he really runs this thing out. He makes the running back run laterally as long as possible. Number 58 there goes up, tries to strip the ball away from him. There's the ball right there. It's still in bounds. However, they say he did not have possession in bounds. Very close.
3rd and 12 at the 19 now for the Chiefs. And Kenny will go to the air. And Kenny is going for Carson, penalty marker down. And Carson might have been interfered with by Eric Wright. Carlos Carson, who had his best game as a pro last week against Denver. You'll notice the armbands on the part of the officials. They're in memory of Vince Jacobs, who passed away in October, an 8-year NFL official, and so the National Football League referees are wearing the black armbands today. Automatic first down. Let's pick it up.
Illegal contact. Number 21, defense. First down.
That's Eric Wright, so it's 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. San Francisco 49ers, after losing only 3 games last year, coming in with a 2-5 record, and Eric Wright, who was one of the great rookie backs last year for the Niners. 1st and 10 at the 14. The pitch goes to Jackson. Hadnot with a block. And Jackson trying to cut inside, gets maybe a yard, and Hacksaw Reynolds makes the stop. And as you pointed out earlier, they need Jack Reynolds for plays like that.
And it's really amazing, even though it is early in the ball game, Dick, at the amount of ease in which Kansas City has marched down the length of the field. I mean, you know, of course, they've had a lot of key people injured throughout the course of the year, but still, when you're the defending Super Bowl champions, you have a lot more going for you, and you should really rise to the occasion when you have those injuries.
Well, as you saw in the last graphic, the Niners have had trouble stopping anyone on the ground. 2nd and 8, and Kenny to toss, and there he goes. He's hit. Lawrence Pillars was right in, and no one picked him up. So an injury decimated defensive line for the 49ers. Everyone is eligible to play today despite various hurts, and Lawrence Pillars, the former New York Jets, stormed in for the sack.
This has been one of the real painstaking things that the Chiefs have had to go through this year. Their quarterbacks have been sacked now, I think it's 36 times. And of course, that's what we were talking about. The defending Super Bowl champions rising to the occasion. Sure, some of your key people are injured, but you must meet the task.
That's the 34th, actually. Houston quarterbacks have been sacked 35 times, so the quarterbacks haven't had much chance. 3 wide receivers in there now, and now forcing in. Here comes the pass to Carson, who's got it out of bounds. Kenny was knocked down, and defending, Fred Dean had really put the rush on Kenny, and Eric Wright and Dwight Hicks were both watching Carson, who the official ruled just was out of bounds when he caught that ball. He was right on top of the play.
And that's one of the few times that we've actually seen a good rush by Fred Dean, number 74. He was the defensive player of the year last year, coming in from the outside, getting to the quarterback, not really bothering that much, but as the pass comes down, the official rules that he was out of bounds, and still another judgment call.
And a 40-yard field goal attempt now. Steve Fuller holding for Nick Lowry, who is 4 for 5 from that distance, and 14 for 18 this year. He has had a remarkable season. And Lowry's kick is up. It is good. And so Nick Lowry kicks a 40-yard field goal, and the Kansas City Chiefs have drawn first blood against the 49ers here in the cold in KC.
Toyota presents a truck that gives you the feeling. The feeling that you're driving a sports machine.
1983 Toyota Sport Truck with a 5-speed manual overdrive or an optional 4-speed automatic overdrive with a suspension system that lets you love the road and the ride. It's like a sports car with a 7-foot trunk. Now, how did that feel?
Like somebody did it right.
When a business grows, it often grows out of control. Simple procedures become gigantic problems. Things like billing, filing, and shipping become too big to handle the old way. Why not get one of IBM's low-cost small computers like DataMaster? It puts you back in control, and it can grow.
Here's to a great future.
As your business grows.
Nick Lowry will kick off with 9 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Dick Stockton and Jim Hill here at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs can get in the playoffs with 2 victories and 2 defeats by 3 other ball clubs, which we'll tell you about. They need Cleveland, New England, and Seattle to lose 2. Chiefs' chance is not as good as San Francisco's. Neither of them really good at all. And the ball goes out of bounds. And now Lowry will have to kick it off from the 30. Nick Lowry from Dartmouth obviously is headed for a political career. His father worked for the State Department and the American Embassy in London. And last summer spent a lot of his time in Washington working as a special assistant to Missouri Senator Tom Eagleton. And so he's had a lot of experience in the nation's capital. The Chiefs, though they have the lead, Jim, I have to say, as we take a look at the scoring drive, 3-0, still haven't learned, if you want to say, to go in when they have the opportunity. They were on the drive, and all of a sudden they stalled and had to settle for 3.
And I think the strike really hurt the Chiefs, probably more so than most other teams in the National Football League, because they are young, because they are inexperienced at the skill positions. Taking 8 weeks away from them like that really hurts. So they can drive the length of the field and still not be able to get in.
Dana McLemore and Amos Lawrence are back, and it's Dana McLemore, the rookie, at the 13-yard line, down at the 23. So it'll be the 49ers back on offense, 1st and 10. Coming up next, the Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles would like nothing better than to spoil the Dallas Cowboys' playoff hopes. Right now they're tied with Washington but have the edge because they beat the Redskins head on, and Dallas would like that home field advantage for those 3 playoff games. Coming up next on CBS, 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. Russ Francis is the tight end, and Bill Ring carries a few tacklers with him as well. Lloyd Burris makes the stop as Dino Mangiero was carried a few yards by Bill Ring. Joe Montana, the quarterback, having another sensational year. Jeff Moore, Bill Ring, the backs. Dwight Clark, marvelous campaign. Freddie Sullivan, the wide receivers. Starting at tight end, Russ Francis. Lindsey Mason, John Ayers, Fred Quillen, Randy Cross, and Keith Farnhorst, the usual group up front for the Niners. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4 at the 35. The pass to Russ Francis, complete and out of bounds. A 1st down for San Francisco. Charles Jackson, the linebacker, makes the tackle. And let's bring you up to date on the Kansas City Chiefs defense, and a mighty good one. Art Still, you won't find many better than Still. Ken Kramer, the nose tackle. Dave Lindstrom, the right end. The 4 linebackers, Tom Howard, Jerry Blanton, Gary Spaney, the best of that lot, and Charles Jackson, who made that last tackle. Gary Green, Eric Harris, Lloyd Burris, and Gary Barbaro. 4 outstanding players in the secondary for the Chiefs. 1st and 10 at the 43, and running up the middle is Bill Ring. It's a stone wall, and that stone wall is Art Still, the defensive end. Terrific player. He was Pro Bowl last year despite missing 5 games. Art Still, Jimmy, has practiced only 4 days since the strike ended and has played every game and has been terrific in every game.
There are very few players in the National Football League who can do that. They go out and they can't practice because of all kinds of injuries, but still somehow on game day they manage to make it there, and he's one of them. 2
tight ends. Charlie Young joins Russ Francis. 2nd and 7 at the 46. The swing pass out to Bill Ring at the 45, and he's ridden out of bounds by Thomas Howard, the linebacker. Gain of about 7 yards. Bill Ring, who was moved to halfback and now starting at fullback. The 49ers have had the lowest ground attack in the league this year. Whether you talk about yards per game or average yards per rush, they don't have anyone on their team averaging as many 4 yards per carry. They've had problems. It's been a one-dimensional offense. 3rd and 3 in midfield for San Francisco. In motion is Jeff Moore. Jump pass to Russ Francis. Complete first down into Kansas City territory at the 32. Gary Barbaro makes the tackle on a 17-yard pickup. And Russ Francis, who is, we called him all-world with New England, and it cost the Niners a couple of high draft picks to get him this year.
And it has taken Russ just a little bit longer than I'm sure than Bill Walsh would like for him to really grasp the offensive philosophy of the 49ers. When he first came in, they thought he would take over for Charlie Young, but Charlie Young fought him off for a little while, but Francis is starting today.
1st and 10 at the 32, 3-0 Kansas City, 7:07 remaining in the first quarter. And here's Jeff Moore. Fumbles, and he's down. No fumble. He was knocked down and tackled at the 27-yard line by Lloyd Burris. So Jeff Moore, who started the year with Seattle, picked up as a free agent, has 7 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 4 receiving. He's been a versatile back.
Certainly has, and the 3 touchdowns that he got rushing were against the Los Angeles Rams.
At the 27. And the Niners play the Rams next week in the finale. Moore has blockers to the left, cutting inside and close to the 20-yard line. Another first down for the San Francisco 49ers. And as you predicted, Jim, the 49ers, normally a pass-happy club, have been going more to the ground than we've seen them.
And this is not a bad run by Moore, even though he only picked up just a couple extra yards. It was for the first down. But watch how he picks his way, starting to the outside, stopping, cutting back. But then again, there comes that pursuit of the defense, even though he got enough yardage for the first down. Yeah.
Good block by John Ayers. Bill Walsh, he's disappointed, but he is not despondent over this season. Club just didn't come back after the Super Bowl year. A lot of young players. Montana in trouble, going to run it. And smartly goes out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Joe Montana, who had his passing streak of 300 or more yards, 5 consecutive games, an NFL record, stopped against Atlanta, showing his ability to run.
Look at number 26, Gary Barbaro, right in the middle of your screen here. This is a very, very fine free safety. Reading the quarterback, watching Joe Montana, coming back across the field with him. Excellent coverage in the secondary by the Chiefs. That's why Montana had to scramble and run.
It'll be 2nd and 2 at the 13 as the 49ers trailing 3-0 here in the first quarter. 5:38 to go. Jeff Moore is hit immediately. Jerry Blanton, the left inside linebacker, and Art Still make the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and still 2 yards to go. And so Kansas City defense stiffens with Blanton and Still. They go with the 3-4. If the Chiefs defense does not play well, the Chiefs don't win. It's as simple as that. At the 13, 3rd down. They need a long 2. Moving outside is Jeff Moore. And Montana to Ring. Ring is hit and knocked out of bounds. Close to a first down. Thomas Howard, outside linebacker. And let's see where they spot the ball. The 49ers awfully close. They do have another first down.
Once again, good coverage in the secondary by the Chiefs, which is the reason why Montana had to dump the ball off to Ring. And the 49ers passing philosophy is so much timing that if you're able to disrupt it just a little bit, like the Atlanta Falcons did last week, then you will be able to have some success against them. And that's why I think that the Chiefs secondary people, they're going to be coming up tight on their wide receivers and try and really get a good lick on them at the line of scrimmage.
Montana 4 for 4 for 33 yards. He's been perfect. 1st and goal now at the 10. The pass incomplete. It was intended for number 87, Dwight Clark, and the first time today that Montana has gone to his favorite receiver. The two have worked together. They know each other's moves. Montana knows when Clark is going to make a move where he's going, and of course I think Montana also knows Clark knows Montana's style, and I think when the two of them can hook up on like that, it's something that you rarely have.
It's something that just comes natural. Now, that particular play also can set up another play for the 49ers, because you saw the flow go that way, and it was Jeff Moore going behind a couple of offensive linemen, so that play, that throw to Clark could set up a screen.
There's Dwight, second and goal, just inside the 10. In motion, Freddie Solomon. And falling down was Jeff Moore. He looked wide open, but Moore fell down. Eric Harris was coming in to try to gamble, and if he had been in the right spot and the ball had been up, he would have been gone for another interception touchdown. But it'll go as an incompleted pass to Jeff Moore.
Now, this field is in great condition. However, the yard stripes, he just tripped over the yard stripe, because when you paint those things and the cold weather comes in, it gets real slick.
You mean you can trip over the yard stripe?
Yeah,
that used to be a joke.
People have laughed about it, but it's actually true. In cold weather, you can trip over it.
That's news to me. Third and goal now at the 10-yard line. Montana straight back. He's rushed and down. Thomas Howard, the best blitzing linebacker on this Kansas City defense, does his specialty against Montana back to the 15. It's fourth down.
You know, this is one of the problems, another problem that the 49ers have been having offensively. When you have 3 down linemen and you blitz only 1 linebacker, 5 men should still be able to pick up 4 coming up front. That was a mental mistake by the Niners up front.
Ray Wersching with a 32-yard attempt. Montana holding to try to tie the game. A high snap, but the kick is good, and we have a tie ball game. We have 4 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the first quarter here at Arrowhead Stadium, and Wersching and Lowry have traded field goals. We're tied at 3.
Ring in the holidays, ring out the year, sparkling with Andre, love and good cheer. Take Andre home for the holidays. Andre for the holidays.
What's a celebration without Andre champagne to lend sparkle and elegance to your good times? Greet the season and your friends with the best. Andre.
For the holidays and all year long.
The new front-wheel drive Dodge 600 ES. 50 automotive engineers compared it to a Mercedes 300D. They preferred Dodge 38-12 for overall driving superiority. With great mileage and a 5-year or 50,000-mile protection plan, Dodge 600 ES is the affordable American alternative.
America's driving machine. Now get 10.9% financing on many new 82 and 83 Dodge cars. Participating dealers have details.
Ray Wersching, who is now 9 of 13 in field goals for the 49ers, getting the ball to his liking. There's Anthony Hancock. 4:09 remaining in the first quarter. Sparse gathering here at Arrowhead Stadium. When the season started, this looked like it might be a terrific matchup. Short kick, end over end, and Hancock has a running start at the 10-yard line, and still going. Hancock is finally down at the 30. Good return by Hancock, and the tackle is made by Terry Beeson and Rick Jervis. So we're tied 3-3. Here is the scoring drive as the Niners went 57 yards in 13 plays in just under 5 minutes. But the Chiefs go on offense 1st and 10 with Bill Kenny and company. So Kansas City finishing next season here against the Jets, and the 49ers will host the Rams next week in the season finale.
If you care about your pictures, you'll flip over Kodak paper. Because for a good look on the front, it helps to have Kodak paper on the back. Kodak paper. It's the only paper to flip over. So to help your pictures look their best, come to a store that cares enough to use Kodak paper.
And you flip.
Just ask for Kodak paper where you see this sign. And start flipping.
Now's the time for a couple of cold beers. And of all the beers you can choose from, there's only one that isn't exposed to extreme heat of 140 degrees.
Coors.
That's because only Coors is bottled cold, shipped cold, stored cold. That's why Coors tastes first beer fresh. Ice cold Coors after Coors.
Coors is the beer made for the way you really like to drink beer.
So the Kansas City Chiefs, who snapped a 4-game losing streak, beating Denver last week, 37-16, the most points Kansas City has scored in their last 11 points, have it first and 10 on their own 30-yard line. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Hadnot, a couple of yards, and that's all. Joe Delaney, number 37, is in the game at running back. Jim Stuckey makes the tackle, by the way. Detroit, Tampa Bay, an important game, and the Lions jump out to a 7-0 lead over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first quarter. Pittsburgh rebounding from the loss to the Browns in front of New England 10-0. 2nd and 8 at the 32. Anthony Hancock comes in. 3 wide receivers in the ball game for the Chiefs. And Hadnot is the single back. Quick pass to Hancock. And Eric Wright just gets right around him and doesn't let him move. And good thing, Anthony Hancock has world-class speed, and the Chiefs had to make a trade with St. Louis to move up in the draft so that they could get Anthony Hancock. But Wright made a good play.
One of the toughest things for a defensive back to do is to come up and make a one-on-one open field tackle against a fleet wide receiver like that. Eric Wright did an excellent job coming up, getting his hands on him, and just pulling him on down to the ground. Wright continuing to have a good season just like last.
3rd and 7. Lynn Thomas, number 28, is a nickel back now for the Niners. 3rd and 7 at the 33. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first quarter, and Kenny slips. The Niners were coming anyway, and Kenny had a deep drop, and when he slipped, he had no chance. And it was Fred Dean who finally put the seal on Bill Kenny, and that'll be the 35th sack of the year against Kansas City quarterbacks.
And I think once again, he was getting, just as he was getting ready to throw the ball, he slipped right about the part of the field where it is painted. And when you paint that thing like that and it's cold weather, it rises just a little bit and you can slip.
Jeff Gossett is back punting for Kansas City. They had a 5-man derby early in the year. Gossett had it. He lost his job. He's back this time. And Freddie Solomon is back at single safety for the 49ers. This kick is nothing to brag about, as Solomon on the run has it at the 40-yard line. He turns the corner, and Solomon is knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line, giving the Niners a great field position, and it was the punter, Jeff Gossett, who knocked Solomon out of bounds, and a good block by Milt McCall.
Nobody serves a republic like Republic.
Dear Republic, in years of worldwide travel, I've never had such service, thanks to Mark Bird, Greg Correnti, and Janet Marshall.
Dear Republic, it was my first plane ride. Your people did everything for my comfort and courage. Thank you.
Nobody serves a republic like Republic.
I refinished this beautiful piece all by myself, and I can't even change a light bulb.
A pro wanted $300 to refinish this. I did it myself for $15.
Formby's furniture refinisher can make a believer out of you because it works unlike anything you've ever seen. It dissolves old varnish lacquer or shellac without stripping, sanding, or scraping. With my furniture refinisher, it's a pleasure to create a treasure.
Homer Formby. No one knows wood as good. Formby products available at these and other fine stores.
Monday on CBS.
Men don't make passes at girls who wear glasses?
Have the square pegs finally focused on a plan to crash into the in crowd? Square Pegs Monday.
49ers, or the Chiefs, have done a lot with special teams and defense. Jeff Gossett reactivated this week with a 35-yard low kick and a 22-yard return. So it's not been a good year for punters in Kansas City. For San Francisco, 1st and 10 on the Chiefs' 39-yard line. In motion, going Mike Wilson. And carrying up the middle, Bill Ring for a couple. Houston and Cleveland with the Oilers 7-0 over the Browns. It'll be 2nd down and 7 yards for the San Francisco 49ers. Ronaldo Nehemiah, number 83, who figures to see a lot of action, is in the ball game. Lining up to the right, there is Skeets. 23-year-old free agent rookie is in motion. Gary Green follows him all the way. And here's Jeff Moore. And Moore is stopped on a fine penetration by Art Still and the rest of the Kansas City line. John Ayers was blocking on the play, and there's Art Still. By the way, his sister, Valerie, is the all-time leading Kentucky basketball scorer, men or women. She's 6'1", and she's a star on the Lady Wildcats, All-American, and she's the all-time leading scorer, so a lot of athletic skills in the Art Still family. 3rd and 6 at the 35. Don Parrish, number 61, is in at nose tackle right now. Montana with time. He has Moore, and Moore drops it. Coming into the game, he was 4th in the NFC among running backs as receivers. He's had good hands this year, but that one he just dropped wide open.
You could blame that on a couple of things. Sure, you could blame it on the cool weather, but I think that people have to remember, as far as players are concerned, that when you go into cold weather and you aren't used to catching the ball in this type of atmosphere, you must catch it in the body instead of just the hands alone.
Jim Miller back to punt, and only Dave Jennings of the Giants has kicked more punts inside the 20-yard line. Miller has kicked 11, and this kick is blocked. And it's picked up by Jaron Sherry of Kansas City. It was Lloyd Burris who blocked Miller's kick, and Jaron Sherry picked it up, and the Chiefs on a big break are in San Francisco territory.
Number 34 coming in from the left-hand portion of your screen. Lloyd Burris right there gets his left hand on the ball, and this is one of the things that the Chiefs work on more so than anybody else. They work on those special teams, and this time it paid off, and they have the ball in good field position.
With 36 seconds to go in the first quarter.
She's back. She's back. She's back.
The Mustang convertible is back. The convertible with a power top, glass back window, and room for four.
She's back. She's back. She's back. She's back on the right track. Now that's a fact. She's back.
The Mustang convertible. The hottest news around because it's more than a convertible. It's a Mustang. Right, Sally?
She's back. Oh, have you given a Ford lately?
Come on, you guys, hands up. Defense!
It's your broker from Dean Witter.
I want to see you hustle.
Some people just aren't easy to please, especially when it comes to their investments.
Josie, we do it.
You look like you just heard from Dean Witter.
At Dean Witter, we can give even the hard-to-please investor something to smile about.
Okay, let's see that defense.
You look like you just heard from Dean Witter.
Lloyd Burris was the top rookie last year on the Chiefs out of the University of Maryland with blocking Miller's kick. That was the first punt that Jim Miller has ever had blocked, and it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line for Kansas City. The lights have been turned on here at Arrowhead Stadium. Play action pass. Kenny with time up the middle, and it's overthrown. And waiting was Dwight Hicks. Henry Marshall was the intended receiver, and Kenny simply missed a wide-open Henry Marshall cutting across.
Certainly did. He was, as you mentioned, wide open coming across the middle of the field, and that can be really discouraging after you come up with a big play on special teams. You have the defense on the run. You don't want to let them settle down because the 49ers have been having problems defensively anyway, and then you miss someone that's wide open like that. That really hurts you.
Lawrence Pillars is in the game, and John Hardy is out. Hadnot, who's gained 27 yards, doesn't gain a heck of a lot more, maybe 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down, and the small crowd here in Kansas City with the boos, Bob Horn and Jim Stuckey, the right inside linebacker, and Jim Stuckey, the defensive end, make the stop. The clock is run out. That is the end of the first quarter. 3-3 the score. San Francisco and Kansas City. Field goals by Nick Lowry and Ray Wersching, and that's been the story here after the first.
A Ranger never takes the easy way out.
You're reaching deep inside you for things you've never known. No!
That's why getting into the Rangers is tough, and the training's tough.
Be all that you can be.
So it makes me feel like I'm part of something really special.
Be all that you can be.
And I'm not the only one.
You can do it in the Army.
When I was looking for a small computer, I went to IBM because they know what a small, big company needs. I wanted data, word processing, and some word data processing. And they showed me a small computer to fit our budget. IBM even had a place to learn how to use it. That impressed us. And my good business sense even impressed my girlfriend, Charlotte.
IBM.
In the spring of 1971, I started from pole position on the starting grid, and going into the very first corner, the throttle stuck open, and I just had no way to get out of it. And I slammed into an earth bank at high speed. I was wearing a seatbelt. I literally turned the buckle on the seatbelt and walked out of the car. Even on the road, I wouldn't go 50 yards without wearing a seatbelt.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be. And by IBM.
Barb Levy, the Kansas City coach, under a little bit of pressure because of what's happened this season to the Chiefs. And Bill Walsh, who's looks like he's had a headache all year. Start of the second quarter, Dick Stockton and Jim Hill. 3rd and 7 at the 45-yard line. Mike Clark, Jeff Stover, Lawrence Pillars. They're trying to put the pressure on Kenny. 3rd and 7, the pass almost intercepted by Dwight Hicks. And that pass was short. The intended receiver was Carlos Carson, who was about 5 yards deep, and Hicks, shaking his head, was second in the NFC last year with 9 interceptions. And Kenny didn't come close again, Jim.
Certainly didn't. And another bad pass. He overthrew a receiver. This time he almost got the ball picked off because he underthrew a receiver. And Kenny is going to have to make some adjustments in his particular game. Stop trying to throw the ball so deep and just go medium passes for the time being.
Gossett to kick. His first one was 35 yards and low. Freddie Solomon is back. And this is a good high kick. Trying to get it inside the 20, but it's inside the end zone instead, and it's a touchback. So it'll be San Francisco ball following the 45-yard punt by Kenny at the 20 when we come back.
We are USA 1, taking charge with the new Cavaliers, with a new high-compression electronic fuel-injected 2-liter engine, available 5-speed transmission, and a new lower price. It's powered by Chevrolet's determination to put Cavalier on top and priced to keep it there. A full line of new Cavaliers from America's sales leader. And now on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars on financing costs.
The news from the Bell system, any business with 40 telephones to 25,000 can start with the Dimension PBX and build an integrated information system. New add-on functions let you combine voice and data, manage energy, centralize message handling, distribute communications benefits, and carry over much of what you have when there's a new generation of Bell business systems to install. Talk to your Bell account executive about it. The knowledge business.
And likewise, we're happy to be in Kansas City, where the people are always hospitable and friendly. Arrowhead Stadium, one of the nicest football arenas in the game. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the 49ers. Joe Montana, the quarterback, second in the league to Danny White, Ronaldo Nehemiah, and there's a trick play, a fake pass, run and a pass to Russ Francis, the tight end, and it's to the 41-yard line. First down, Gary Barbaro makes the stop, and so you'll always know with the Bill Walsh team, an innovative offensive mind that you'll come up with plays like this.
Even though the 49ers had indicated that they wanted to run just a little bit more, they always have a trick or two in store for you. And we're starting to see how Russ Francis more and more is starting to become a dominant force in the offensive attack.
That was a 22-yard pickup, Jim, and it's 1st and 10 at the 42 for the Niners. Joe Montana's parents from Monongahela, Pennsylvania came here for the game. And Gary Green knocks the ball away on a pass intended for Dwight Clark. And we talked about your cousin getting married on Tuesday and having a terrific season, Gary Green.
He certainly is, and talking to other people around the National Football League, they say that Gary is one of the best defensive backs in the league coming up, doing an excellent job of knocking the ball down with his right hand. It was kind of funny in talking to Gary Barbaro before the game today. You know how they always tease someone before he's about to get married. Barbaro said if Green goes up and make a tackle today, get hit in the head, he could forget all about everything else on Tuesday. But they're just joking.
Derwin Rockmore, number 38, a 6th-round draft choice from Texas A&I, is coming as a nickel back. And Joe Montana looking for receivers at 2nd and 10. He can run, of course, and he does, wisely going out of bounds. The great skill of Joe Montana, and there's a story between Montana and Fuller, the backup quarterback of the Chiefs. They were both taken in the same year, 79. Montana, 3rd-round draft pick after the Niners won 2 games. And Steve Fuller was a 1st-round pick after the Chiefs won 4 games, both with the same kind of style. And oddly enough, the Chiefs wanted to get Fuller and trade it ahead because they were afraid the 49ers were going to take him. And I think San Francisco's happy they have Montana.
They got the better of the two, I think so.
Of course, they have a passing offense, and the Chiefs do not, which has hurt Fuller a bit. 3rd and 2 at midfield. And Jeff Moore trying to get it on a sweep, and he may be awfully close. Jeff Moore has gained 12 yards. And Montana's been the leading rusher so far for the 49ers. 4th down.
And that's when you know your offense is really in trouble, when your quarterback is the leading rusher. And that was one of the reasons why they wanted to work on that just a little bit more this afternoon.
3-3 is our score. Nick Lowry, a 40-yard field goal. Ray Wershing, a 32-yarder. And there's Anthony Hancock, who's down at the 10-yard line. Hancock, with a great return last week, 68-yard return, lets this ball go into the end zone following Miller's punt. And so Miller had the last punt blocked. This one 49 yards. It'll be Chiefs ball.
GMC's economical S15, our new small truck, has some news that's definitely big. The new GMC S15 Club Coupe with extra carrying space inside. Then there's the S15 Long Bed with its roomier cargo box. And the new sports-minded GMC S15 Jimmy, all available with Instatrack 4-wheel drive and V6 power.
On new 82 GMC Light Duties, 10.9 annual percentage rate financing to qualified buyers. Take retail delivery now through December 31st.
I say, what's the good of making a living if you never live?
Turn it loose, turn it loose, turn it loose tonight. Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Don't hold back, turn it loose tonight. Coors Light!
My beer's gotta taste great without weighing me down. It's gotta be Coors Light all the way.
Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Turn it loose, turn it loose.
Tuesday night on CBS Sports, Denton Crum returns to Pauley Pavilion as he leads Louisville against UCLA. Top 10 action Tuesday night on the home of the NCAA Championship, CBS Sports.
NCAA basketball Tuesday night. Louisville, they reached the Final Four last year. UCLA could do it this year. You know the Bruins out in Los Angeles, Jim.
I certainly do. Kenny Fields, Darren Day, Rod Foster, Larry Farmer, the coach out there. This is the first year that they are eligible to go to the NCAAs after they were on probation. And I tell you, they have a fine basketball team, a record of 7-1, ranked 3rd in the country.
This is the first time Miller's punt has ever been blocked. This was earlier by Burris. And first time he's ever used a shoe. He had his first punt blocked ever. That was the first time he put a shoe on. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Joe Delaney, number 37, is in the game at running back. And Delaney carries, tries to get some room, and does a lot of it on his own. Joe Delaney, who suffered a detached retina, which put his career in jeopardy, had surgery there, and then a strained knee kept him out of the Denver game. Leading rusher, over 1,100 yards last year, and was the only rookie, as you can see, to start for the AFC in the Pro Bowl.
And that's what the Chiefs have so desperately needed as an outside threat. Delaney coming out of the ball game right now, but that's what they need, someone who can go in and get 5, maybe 6.5 yards every time they carry the ball.
2 tight ends in there now. Willie Scott, 81, as well as Al Dixon. In motion is Carlos Carson. As I mentioned, Delaney is out, Billy Jackson is in, and Hadnot carries. Hadnot still going and gets up to the 31-yard line, and that should be a first down. So the second effort for Hadnot gives the Chiefs another first down as the inside linebackers Hacksaw Reynolds and Bob Horn, the former San Diego Charger, make the tackle. Hacksaw Reynolds came back with a vengeance against Atlanta last week. He was been criticized out in the Bay Area, and I think he wanted to show him, and he did in no uncertain terms against the Falcons.
No, well, Jack is an excellent linebacker, but like we said before, an injury like the Dwayne Board really hurts everyone else on the defensive unit because they depend on him so much.
Anthony Hancock is in the game, 3 wide receivers. And instead they go to Delaney, the lone running back, and Delaney slips up, tackled from behind by Ed Judy, the left linebacker starting in place of Willie Harper. There's Judy, who's on injured reserve last year out of Northern Arizona, played against Atlanta and played well, and was a free agent pickup. Losing Willie Harper, of course, hurts because he's the best linebacker against the run the Niners had.
That's just another in a long list of key injuries that the defending Super Bowl champions have had this year.
2nd and 4 at the 37-yard line. Hadnot bursts up the middle. And short of a first down by a yard, Jim Stuckey made the stop. John Hardy as well. If we run down the injury list of the defensive front line of the 49ers, it'd be like reading the telephone book. It'll be 3rd and 1. Bill Walsh, who, by the way, coached as the defensive coordinator under Marv Levy at the University of California 20 years ago. So those two go way back. 3rd and 1 at the 40. 3 tight ends in there now, and in motion is Ed Beckman, the 3rd tight end, and Jackson breaks the tackle. First down, but he might have been gone all the way were it not for Eric Wright. Eric Wright might have saved a touchdown as Billy Jackson gets a first down for Kansas City.
I don't think there's any doubt right now, even though the score is tied at 3, that Kansas City is outplaying the San Francisco 49ers. From an offensive standpoint, this has to be exceptionally pleasing to the Chiefs because you saw how their offensive line was surging off the ball, off the line of scrimmage, really attacking rather than taking the blows like they have been doing in previous games.
Jackson has averaged over 4 yards a carry. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line for the Chiefs. Under 11 minutes remaining in the first half. We're tied 3 and 3. Kenny trying to get on the beam passing wise. His pass complete to Jackson at the 45. He's still short of a first down by 3 yards, and Bob Horn makes the tackle. 7-year veteran who had his first interception against the Falcons last week.
Now it appears, Dick, that the Chiefs are trying to get away from that throwing the ball deep down the field because Kenny has not had a lot of success throwing down there. Throwing to his backs coming out of the backfield, throwing to his wide receivers maybe 8, 12, 15 yards deep. That's as much as he should really try this afternoon.
Delaney is back in along with Hadnot. 2nd and 3 at the 45, 3-3 to score, and this time it's Delaney with the speed. He has a first down practically to the 40-yard line and maybe to the 41, and John Hardy makes the tackle. So we're seeing Joe Delaney, the 2nd-round draft choice from Northwest Louisiana, and a good block by the tight end Al Dixon, number 84 here.
One of the advantages of running out of the I formation, especially when you have a fast running back like Delaney, he's able to pick his own holes and pick up that extra yardage enough for the first down. And once again, I have to say that the Chiefs want it more right now than the 49ers.
At the 41, 1st and 10. 8 first downs for Kansas City, 5 for the 49ers. Billy Jackson can't get outside, and he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. And Rick Jervis makes the tackle. Number 24, Rick Jervis, starting the game in place of the injured Carlton Williamson. Williamson had a broken finger against Atlanta, and he may have a bruised kidney. So Jervis, very aggressive performer, a free agent from Stanford, was one of 5 rookie defensive backs to make the Niners last year, the only one not drafted. A good hit in the Super Bowl as well. 4 men up front for San Francisco on 2nd and 10 at the 41. Look for the pressure on Kenny. Going deep. Caught. Hancock. Touchdown. A penalty marker is thrown. What a throw by Kenny, and what a catch by Hancock. Eric Wright was right with him. And the penalty apparently is against San Francisco, will be declined. And Anthony Hancock has caught his first professional touchdown, a 41-yard play.
Pass interference, number 21 defense, penalty decline.
Second one against
Touchdown.
Eric Wright. Fuller will hold, and Lowry will attempt the point after. 41-yard play. And Lowry's kick is up. It's good. And with 8:36 to go, the Chiefs have taken a 10-3 lead. And here's how they did it for a team that doesn't throw the ball. Watch Hadnot block Ferrari on the blitz, 54. There he goes.
That is the key to the whole thing right there, Dick. The tremendous block, picking up Ferrari on the blitz, throwing the ball into the end zone, and there it comes down for the touchdown. And like I said before, the Chiefs wanted more. That's why they have the lead.
Well, with Anthony Hancock and people blocking like that against the blitz, the Chiefs can move the ball that way.
We are USA 1, and number 1 is taking charge of front-wheel drive with Chevrolet Celebrity, Citation, and Cavalier. With rear wheels removed and snowplows attached, these 3 different size front-wheel drive Chevrolets are demonstrating traction enough to plow snow. Traction that helped make Chevy number 1 in front-wheel drive sales. USA 1 is taking charge.
I'm about to show you how you can fight drafts and frosty windows with this new window insulator kit from 3M. You just stick it in place from the inside, heat it with a hairdryer, and the wrinkles disappear. Airtight and clear as glass. Now you can see how cold it is out there without feeling it in here. Look for the 3M window insulator kit in the tartan plaid package. There's just one rule for doing it yourself. Don't do it yourself without 3M.
The scoring drive by the Kansas City Chiefs, who now lead at 10-3 with 8:36 remaining in the first half. Nick Lowry. McLemore is back, and it's going to McLemore, the rookie, at the 12-yard line. Gets out to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10. And Lewis Haynes makes the tackle. The Dallas Cowboys 6-1. Redskins 6-1. They're playing for home field advantage. And a great rivalry of Philadelphia and Dallas. Not much for the Eagles except pride. And you know that Dick Vermeil is going to have Ron Jaworski, Harold Carmichael, Wilbert Montgomery sky high against the Cowboys. And that would make the Eagles season if they could upset Dallas at Texas Stadium. Coming up next on CBS. Joe Montana trying to get his team back. 1st and 10. His pass, Solomon, was the intended receiver.
He's very lucky that he didn't get the ball picked off, and it's one of the problems that one of the few problems that Joe has, and that is throwing into coverage at times.
He can avoid that rush pretty well. 4-down lineman Don Parrish is in there as a tackle. It's 2nd and 10 at the 30. And here's Russ Francis cutting across. Francis won't get the first down. He won't even get the ball. It's recovered by the Chiefs. Art Still with the recovery. And Charles Jackson with the hit. Kansas City ball. in San Francisco territory.
You know, we talked about how Russ Francis is starting to fit into the philosophy here, coming across the screen, going right to left. He's wide open, makes the reception, and then Eric Harris and Charles Jackson are going to come over and make the initial contact. Francis starting to go up. There's Jackson tackling the ball. That's what you want to do. You have another teammate around. You hit the ball. It'll usually pop loose in cold weather. The Chiefs have it.
Francis has caught 4 passes, but he coughed that one up, and it's 1st and 10 at the 31. 8:15 to go, and Hadnot with that hellacious block last time tries the right side of the San Francisco line for a couple of yards, and Keena Turner, the linebacker, makes the tackle. Kansas City Chiefs. You mentioned the strike earlier and how much it affected them. They were a strong pro-union team. Tom Condon, who did not start because of an injured foot, the right guard, was on the executive committee of the Players Association. The players unified behind him, a young team. And frankly, when they came back, they were apathetic. They didn't come back with any kind of Christmas. And as you mentioned, their first victory since the strike last week against Denver. But they look good right now. 7:35, penalty marker down. Delaney trying to get outside, and Keena Turner just won't let him. Rick Jervis there to help. But let's see what the penalty is. Jerry Seaman, the referee. 7:29 to go in that first half. 10-3, the Chiefs lead the 49ers. And a loss for San Francisco today really puts the nail on the coffin. It's against San Francisco. Bill Walsh says this is not a playoff team. He freely admits that although his team could get into the playoffs, he says that's not really the situation. He says conceivably the 8 best teams will make it, and we're not one of them.
Offside, number 55, defense.
And quite frankly, Dick, some of the 49er people have openly admitted that one of the reasons, another reason why they are having such an off year is that they came back just a little conceited after winning the whole thing last season.
Bob Horn and Hardy were both 2nd and 2 at the 23. Delaney. Looks like the Niners try to knock the ball out of his hands. Ed Judy was there, as well as Jim Stuckey. It'll be 3rd and 2. Kenny, looking towards the sidelines, is kind of upset. The Kansas City quarterback, with arms flailing, looking to the sidelines, apparently didn't like what was coming up from the bench.
I think he's a little upset because the plays are coming into him a little too slow for his own good.
2nd and 2, 3 tight ends in there, including Ed Beckman, number 85, who's in motion. And Jackson doesn't have it. He's stopped off the right side. A hearty crowd here in Kansas City, and they're making themselves heard. And Kenny pleading his case with Marv Levy, is in his 5th year as head coach.
And I also think that Kenny is a little upset is because that was a run play that was called. I mean, you're gonna kick a field goal from this area anyway. Why not put the ball in the air? And of course, the crowd didn't like the running play at all.
40-yard attempt. Lowry was successful on a 40 in the first quarter. Fuller will hold. Fine year for Nick Lowry, 15 out of 19. And Lowry's kick is no good. It's off to the left. So now you really hear it from the fans who wanted a pass for a possible first down on 3rd and 2. Instead, the Chiefs come up empty, and the Niners will go on offense when we come back.
We are USA 1. Taking charge, utilizing advanced engine technology in the front-wheel drive Cavalier. With a new high-compression electronically fuel-injected 2-liter engine, an available 5-speed transmission, and a new lower price. Chevrolet's going to give the imports competition they haven't seen before. The new Cavalier from America's sales leader. And now on new 82 models only, get 10.9% financing that can save you hundreds of dollars on financing costs.
Only from Atari. made especially for systems from Atari. The video game that lets you help E.T. get home just in time for Christmas. Happy holidays.
New Year's Eve on CBS Sports, Johnny Majors leads his Tennessee Go-Get 'em offense against the strong defensive challenge of Iowa. The Peach Bowl, New Year's Eve on CBS Sports.
This is Dick Stockton along with Jim Hill here at Arrowhead Stadium. Following the missed 40-yard field goal by Lowry, Joe Montana has the Niners out. 1st and 10 at the 22. He's going up top for Ronaldo Nehemiah. And Nehemiah had split the secondary, Barbaro and Green, but he could not catch the ball, and we'll have to look again on the replay maybe, Jim, to see whether the ball went through his hands.
I don't think there was any doubt that he had Gary Green beaten. One of the things that Nehemiah is going to have to learn to do is to catch the ball over his shoulders. Of course, that's the toughest catch for any wide receiver to make. And Dick, I think you brought up an excellent point, is that the ball here, as it starts to come down, it's a very tough pass to catch. It does. It went right through his hands. A ball coming down with the nose down, I'm sure some of you tried to play games where you catch a dollar in between your thumb and your index finger, and how difficult that is to catch. It's the same situation like that on the field.
They have high hopes. Bill Walsh says next year he's going to be a superb football player. And running into his own man, Lindsey Mason, was Jeff Moore. And you have to give credit to Ken Kramer, the nose tackle, who really penetrated Lindsey Mason's territory. And Kramer and Parrish in there as well. So that running play went nowhere. It'll be 3rd and 10, or make it 3rd and 11. Deron Cherry, second-year defensive back from Rutgers, who's the nickel back for the Chiefs, is out of action. We don't know when he'll be back. Earl Cooper is in the game for the first time at running back, number 49. He's best used as a receiver. Montana is going to run it himself, and Montana has a first down and saw red shirts and slid safely at the 42-yard line. So once again, Montana establishing himself as the leading rusher in this game.
And it appears like the 49ers are starting to get away from trying to run the ball just a little bit more, because they are down 10-3 right now, and Montana running the ball upfield. A lot of times you want to know why a quarterback will slide in rather than dive in. If he dives in, there's also the possibility of him injuring his shoulder, so he would much rather slide in than dive.
20-yard pickup, 1st and 10 at the 43. Here is Bill Ring. Dave Lindstrom got a hand on him early, the right end. Jerry Blandon also in on the tackle. Kansas City, very strong defense. Of course, they've had some injuries as well. Mike Bell is on injured reserve. He's the other defensive end along with Still. They've been double teaming Still and Dave Lindstrom, who made that tackle, who's been a fine backup, now forced to start. But the strength of the secondary, the strength of this team is the secondary. Spaney, the linebacker, who we have not mentioned his name today, and Art Still. You see the time. Nearly 4 minutes to go in the half. 2nd and 6 for the Niners at their own 47, trailing 10-3. Nehemiah holds on this time and is short of a first down. Let's check and see. Gary Green on the tackle there as Nehemiah driven out of bounds. So in games important to the 49ers' cause, Detroit and Tampa Bay, the Lions lead at 14-3 in the second quarter. Of course, the 49ers need one of those teams, either one of those teams to lose. Green Bay with a 14-0 lead over Atlanta. And a little cold water on the Falcons' hot play. The St. Louis Cardinals leading 14-0 over the Giants. And that's good news for the 49ers, but not if they don't win this game. We'll have more scores coming right up. Jeff Moore dives forward, and he's hit by Gary Spaney, who is just this close to being all-pro as a linebacker. It'll be 3rd down. Houston lead over Cleveland is 7-3 now in the second quarter of their game, and Pittsburgh over New England 20-0 and giving the Patriots a little of their own medicine after a couple of shutouts by the Pats. Cincinnati ahead of Seattle 7-3. Bengals coming off that loss to San Diego on Monday. It'll be 3rd down if they don't have the first down right here. Montana has gained 37 yards as the leading rusher for the Niners. Ring and Moore each have gained 15. They've got the first down, though. San Francisco, first down at the 47-yard line of Kansas City, trailing 10-3. 3:05 showing on the clock. Keep in mind the 49ers need a loss by the Giants, Detroit, Tampa Bay. All three have to lose one more game this year, and the Niners have to win both of theirs. And San Francisco will get in the playoffs. In motion is Dwight Clark. And up the middle is Clark. He has that pass and another first down inside the 30-yard line. Jerry Blanton makes the tackle, and Dwight Clark, who leads the NFC in catches and yards, right here.
Anytime you put a man the caliber of a Dwight Clark in motion, he most of the time is going to be able to become open because you'll always have a linebacker or someone from the secondary trailing him. His moves are so great and they're so fluid, and his speed is so deceptive that he's going to get away.
You're right. He does have deceptive speed. A lot of people don't realize it. He could become the first NFL receiver since Harold Carmichael in 9 years to win receiving and yardage titles. This is Russ Francis, who had right on his back the linebacker Charles Jackson. Held on right now, and now we have hit our 2-minute warning. And Joe Montana, for the first time today, seems to have the passing game in sync. It'll be at the 25-yard line when we come back. It'll be 2nd and 8. The 2-minute warning. Please come back.
Light up your eyes, unwrap your smiles. Let your arms undo the miles. Bring your heart back home and find that special face. Decorate your time with laughter. Let the hours live ever after.
In the past 40 years, Chevrolet has brought more people home for the holidays than anyone. Have a happy new year, America.
Beatico Creek, Louisiana, and Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Beatico Creek means bass, fat and tasty. And Milwaukee means beer, cold, crisp, Old Milwaukee beer, and the smooth golden light taste of Old Milwaukee Light.
Old Milwaukee.
And Old Milwaukee Light.
Taste as great as their name.
Let me tell you, it doesn't get any better than this.
2-minute warning is history, and the San Francisco 49ers faces 2nd and 8 on the Kansas City 25-yard line. 10-3 is the score. Nick Lowry kicked a 40-yard field goal. Ray Wersching matched it with a 32-yard field goal. And then to break the tie here in the second quarter, Bill Kenny hit Anthony Hancock on a 41-yard touchdown strike, and that's been the scoring to date. Montana 9 of 15 for 90 yards. He has completed nearly 64% of his passes this year. On a draw play, Jeff Moore carrying, and a good gainer. Moore has a first down just about up to the 15-yard line, and a fine block by the unsung right tackle Keith Fawnhorst in his 9th year. Number 71, Jim.
The 49ers, Dick, more so than anyone else, set up the run with their pass. Most teams are just the opposite. And I think that now the 49ers have really started to say, listen, we tried to run the ball more so than normal at the beginning of the game. It didn't work. Let's go back to what we do best and see if we can come back to the run a little bit later.
And Fawnhorst with that fine block, 1st and 10 at the 15. Jeff Moore, the running back, in motion. Montana is hit, and it's intercepted. Thomas Howard. Montana's arm was hit by Charles Jackson, and Thomas Howard has intercepted the pass to stuff out that San Francisco threat. There's Jackson. He caused it.
Jackson, number 51, the outside linebacker, coming in. And, of course, there he is on the right-hand portion of your screen and hitting Montana, forcing, of course, the interception. And like we said, once again, the Chiefs are depending on their defense, and their defense is starting to come through.
If their defense can play, they're in the game, and so far the defense has done it, as well as a big play for the Chiefs.
From the Golden Gate in Marin County, across the Bay Bridge in Oakland, the great city of San Francisco and the Bay Area stretches out before us. Hi, I'm Freddie Solomon of the Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers. And this is my wife, Delilah.
And we're both United Way volunteers.
and we know that out there in the streets and neighborhoods stretches a network of more than 200 agencies that make up the United Way.
Through agencies like the Visiting Nurse Association of San Francisco, these true angels of mercy made more than 56,000 visits providing nursing and home health aid. As physical, occupational, and speech therapists, they help all the people of the Bay Area.
They are part of what makes San Francisco a true city of champions.
Thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding message was brought to you by the National Football League. A big play defensive unit, Kansas City Chiefs. They forced 17 turnovers coming into this game.
And we'll take a look at Charles Jackson, number 51 of the Chiefs, outside linebacker. He beats Bill Ring to the inside, makes the contact on Montana, and of course that enables Thomas Howard to come over and get the interception.
So 3 turnovers now for Kansas City's defense, gives them 20 on the season. The turnovers, the giveaways, and the takeaways, that's what helped San Francisco get to the Super Bowl last year, and they have really dropped in that category. Joe Delaney and James Hadnot are the backs, 1st and 10 at the 19. Let's see how Marv Levy plays it. Kenny going up on top, completes the pass to the 25-yard line. Might have been the tight end Al Dixon, and it is. Al Dixon having another fine year. And a timeout called with 1:05 to go. Bill Kenny shaken up on the field, and there you see Kenny to his Jim Stuckey that really laid into him after he got rid of the ball, and Kenny taking advantage of this timeout. That leaves the Chiefs with 2. Let's watch Stuckey, number 79, against Kenny here.
Stuckey is one of the few people who is continuing to play well defensively despite being injured a little bit himself. He puts his shoulder right into Kenny, right into his left side there, and that's what caused him to fold over just a little bit. He's on the sidelines now trying to see if he is still loose and can go back in there. But anytime you get hit in the midsection like that, either it knocks the wind out of you or it could hurt some of those ribs.
Ron Jaworski against Danny White. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys coming up next. And you can be sure the Cowboys are wary of the Eagles. The Eagles are not going to threaten the Cowboys this year, but they're going to be coming in strong against Dallas to try to cap off what has been a disappointing season. And you know, Dick Vermeil can get his team up. Bill Kenny is back in there, of course, the free agent in his 4th year. He showed early on in his career that he could read defenses well and was a good pure passer ahead of his years. 2nd and 3 at the 26. 1:05 to go in the first half. And Kenny is looking for Carlos Carson. He's got him out of bounds. Stopping the clock at the 47-yard line. Lynn Thomas defending. Carlos Carson had his first 100-yard receiving game against Denver. He caught 3 passes, including a touchdown catch.
And some people have been criticizing the 49ers secondary this year, saying it is not as tough as it was last year. It's very simple. They're not getting the rush up front. We've always said before that one complements the other. And when you don't get the good pass rush, you're not going to get the good coverage in the secondary. And the Chiefs are starting to move down the field now.
Carson had a 51-yard reception last week, a 33-yard touchdown. That was 21 yards, 22 yards. Kenny back with less than a minute to play. And Kenny throws it, intended for Al Dixon. And Bob Horn was back there along with Lynn Thomas covering on the play. 53 seconds showing on the clock. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Chiefs at their own 47-yard line. There you're looking at the San Francisco defense. They've allowed almost 25 points a game as the changes are made here, and their 10 sacks coming in is worst in the NFL. So you talk about the fact that you want to point fingers, they have not had the pressure.
That's right. And defensively, they've been giving up an average of 340 yards a game, much unlike last season.
2nd and 10. Kenny, 6 of 10 through the air. Has a completed pass and a first down, I think. Let's see where they mark it. Henry Marshall caught the ball, and I thought that his impetus was beyond the first down marker, and that's what Kenny is arguing now. Tim Collier, a former Chief, knocked him out of bounds. and they will not have the first down, but it looked like he had it. You be the judge.
Second timeout.
Marshall doing a good job of going downfield, knowing exactly where the first down marker is, the sign of a good wide receiver, making the reception. I watched Collier come over, and you see right there he gets hit. It looks like he was just about the 39-yard line when he got hit. He was driven back, and that's where the officials mark it.
Yeah, from our point of view, and we really had even a better view than what you saw, Marshall definitely had the first down, but it doesn't go that way, and the Chiefs are using another timeout, leaving them with one. One timeout left. It'll be 3rd and 1 at the 44-yard line of San Francisco. So the strategy here at 3rd and 1, do you run for the first down and you have 44 seconds to go? How do you look at it?
Well, if you're going to go by previous history, when the Chiefs were even closer down around the 20-yard line a little while ago, they went for the first down by the run, didn't make it, tried to kick the field goal and missed. I would think that in this particular area, you know, Marv Levy is one to do just the opposite of what you would think he's going to do. But 3rd and 1 here, with the way he's been trying to do it, he may try and run it in again.
Now, they could call 2 plays right now, run for it, and then set up another play. You'd still have enough time. 44 seconds you see remain, and the 1 timeout left for the Chiefs. That's their 3rd down conversion rate. Not impressive. They run it. Hadnot has the first down, and they get to the 40-yard line. Now let's see if Kansas City, yes, Kansas City called 2 plays in that huddle. Clock running, 30 seconds remaining. First half, Kenny to the air. Carson has it. Stops the clock at the 22. Lynn Thomas defending, and right now the Chiefs are sitting pretty.
No pressure at all from the 49ers defensive unit. Absolutely none at all from the down lineman, and that's why Kenny is able to stand right in that pocket. You see the 5 linemen up front, they're doing an excellent job. 5 men should always be able to block 3. Carson running an out pattern, knocked out about the 22-yard line. Good throw, good catch.
18-yard pickup, 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line with 24 seconds to go. 49ers are showing blitz. And Kenny looking away. Down he goes. Fred Dean, Jeff Stover, both in on Bill Kenny. And that's something the 49ers need more of. And, you know, they've been substituting as many as 6 players on defense in passing situations. Clock is running. They have 1 timeout left. They want to get closer for a field goal attempt, and they're not going to. Kenny is decked at the 35-yard line, and a fumble, and the Niners recover. So Kenny lost the ball with 5 seconds to go. Bill Kenny once again shaken up. It's been a rough series for him. Let's see if we can pick up where it happened.
This is one of the few times, Dick, that the 49ers have really come to the occasion. They really rose to it here, getting in, making the sack, and of course there's Fred Dean on your right. He gets in on the play. There are about 3 or 4 white jerseys on Kenny at that particular time. The ball pops out, and Dean makes the recovery.
Stover, Dean, some of the linebackers in ferocious defensive play by San Francisco. They have 5 seconds to go on their own 33 and all the timeouts to go. Joe Montana going up top. He's got Charlie Young, the tight end. And it's incomplete. In fact, he had Charlie Young, he had Wilson, he had Russ Francis. He had everyone down there but his folks from Monongahela, Pennsylvania, who came to see him today. And that is the end of the first half. We're going to bring you up to date on scores and what's going on. It's 10-3 the score. Kansas City over San Francisco. Lowry a 40-yard field goal, and Wershing kicked a 32-yarder, and it was 3-3. And in the second quarter, a 41-yard touchdown pass from Bill Kenny to Anthony Hancock, the rookie from Tennessee, his first NFL touchdown reception to make it 10-3. And here's Montana's reception after the last play. It has been a great year for Joe Montana despite that frustration. It's been a tough year for the 49ers, but Montana has set an NFL record, and he's second in passing in the league. But the Niners will have to wait till the second half. They trail 10-3. And we'll be back with a lot coming up at halftime, and Jim and I will also bring you up to date on scores and an analysis of the game.
These sheep produce some of the world's finest wool. Wool for luxurious fabrics used by the internationally known maker of menswear, Hager. For fine-fitting slacks and sport coats like these from Imperial by Hager, rich pure wools have been selected. Why does Hager choose fabrics of this quality? Because Hager wants you to look and feel your best.
Nobody serves a republic like Republic.
Dear Republic, your agent, Mr. Lashbrook, saved me $234, making me a hero with my company. That's service.
Dear Republic, I've called reservations many times and always been treated with utmost courtesy and even a sense of humor.
Nobody serves a republic like Republic.
Sears announces the big sale, our biggest automotive sale ever. Save 10 to 25% on every all-season radial.
Bet you don't have batteries on sale.
Save $20 on this battery starter charger, and all oil is on sale for as low as 79 cents.
Oil's nice, but I need a battery.
Save $15 on Sears 55 battery, only $49.99 with trade-in.
Batteries, just when I needed them.
Come to the big sale. At Sears Tire and Auto Centers, we install confidence.
You can count on Sears.
1983 on CBS Sports. It's gonna be a year to remember. The Daytona 500. World Cup skiing. The World Figure Skating Championships. The NCAA Basketball Championship. The Masters. The NBA Championship, the Belmont Stakes, the Pan Am Games, the U.S. Open Tennis Championships. 1983 on CBS Sports. It's gonna be a year to remember.
Welcome back to New York. And Irv, the Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers are in trouble again this afternoon. Of course, it is 10-3 right now. The Chiefs over the 49ers. And for the third straight year, a Super Bowl team may not even make it back to the playoffs after they won the big trophy. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Browns and Paul McDonald are ahead of Houston and Gifford Nielsen. Archie Manning out with a pulled hamstring. He will not play for the rest of the day. Cincinnati over Seattle right now, 14-3. They are in the second quarter of that AFC game. And Detroit over Tampa Bay, 14-6. Remember, a year ago, the Buccaneers went into Detroit and eliminated the Lions, and today the Detroit Lions are trying to return the favor in Florida. Pittsburgh and New England, Terry Bradshaw is 10 of 15, 118 yards and 1 touchdown. He has come back with a vengeance against the Patriots. And the St. Louis Cardinals are shutting out the New York Giants, but the Giants are down to the 1-yard line. It is 14-0 there in the second quarter there. And finally, the Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons. As big a game as we have on the board today. 21-7. Bart Starr on the Packers. Irv, it started with the opening kickoff.
You know, Green Bay wanted to get off to a good start, Brent, and you couldn't get off to a better start than this. Number 35, running back Dell Rogers returns the ball up the left sideline, 76 yards all the way down to the Atlanta 24-yard line. This game, the intensity and hitting in this game was probably the most vicious throughout the entire football league today, Brent.
Here's an example of what Irv is talking about. Watch the swarming defense, and Bob Glazebrook comes away there with the interception, and Bart Starr said, oh, not again. I went through this a week ago in Baltimore. Then it was your guy, Lynn Dickey, and that speed burner.
Lynn Dickey trying to work to James Lofton. Lofton, of course, has great speed. Mismatch there, pass interference on the defense, and Green Bay has a scoring opportunity to take advantage of it right here as Eddie Lee Ivory goes over for the touchdown.
And this was his second one, Irv, and a great second and third effort by Ivory, who will not be denied the touchdown against the Falcons, and Starr says there, that is more like it. Then it was fourth down.
Well, I tell you, Atlanta didn't give up. This is a fourth down play action. Bartkowski looking upfield finds William Andrews in the end zone. Atlanta's back in the ball game.
And then finally, here was that combination again, Dickey and Lofton.
What a combination. Dickey to Lofton. This time, the big guy latches onto it and rambles 80 yards. His first scoring play since the strike, Brent.
So it is 21-7, and that one the Packers lead. And with about 6 seconds to go, the New York Giants have gone in. They now trail the St. Louis Cardinals 14-7. The NFL today continues with Irv looking at Jim Brown right after these messages from your local stations.
Sunday, what does Archie have against Billy's teacher?
Philosophy is what constipates people.
Then, with Joey away, will Gloria play Sunday?
This is CBS.
Happy holidays, everybody. And you know, when the Chicago Bears take the field against the Rams in Anaheim today, the focus will be on Walter Payton, who needs just 9 yards to become the 4th player in NFL history to rush for 10,000 yards or more. The first to reach that plateau was the man that many regard as the greatest runner ever to play pro football, Jim Brown. There is no doubt about his credentials as a legend of the game, and here is Irv Cross's profile of the Cleveland Brown running back who could do it all.
There have been many superstars in pro football, but only one Superman, Jim Brown.
Live from the Stardust Hotel in Las Vegas, it's the Stardust Line.
Good evening, everybody. Stardust Line, Lee Pete and Jimmy Brown. And if I don't start saying Jimmy Brown and Lee Pete, I'm going to be in serious trouble. But we welcome you, the power of the
He retired from pro football in 1965, although many thought he could have played at least 3 more seasons. Today, in addition to being an actor and a consultant to Motown, he spends his weekends here at the Stardust Hotel in Las Vegas, working as a co-host on a radio talk show about sports. And as always, when you ask Jim Brown a straight question, you get a straight answer.
Good evening, the Stardust Line, Lee Pete and Jimmy Brown. You're on the air.
Jim, were you the greatest?
Irv, how simple can that be? I mean, is there really a doubt? Taking everything into consideration, Lee, I have to be number 1.
If you don't believe him, then you just never saw him carry a football. The NFL Record Manual devotes several pages to Brown's career accomplishments. They include most yards rushing, most touchdowns scored, and most 100-yard games. But perhaps most impressive is this. In 9 professional seasons, he never missed a game, even though every NFL defense was out to get him.
I remember a particular time when the New York Giants decided that they would hit me in the eyes. They would go after my eyes, and they would intimidate me and get me out of the game. So after the first couple of guys would hit me, the next guy would come with a forearm into the face mask. After about 5 or 6 or 10 of those, I couldn't see very well. And it's the first time I had to decide whether I was a coward or not. Fortunately, when I went back out there, I broke one for about 80 yards, and that took care of that.
Jim Brown was more than a football player. He was a man of conviction, an outspoken critic of a system that made black athletes heroes on Sunday afternoons, but which denied them their basic civil rights.
I was a superstar. 80,000 people would cheer. But I'm not just a big guy that want to carry football. I have a mind. You know, I did graduate. I started businesses. I think, I feel. I'm sensitive, I'm perceptive. So I'm not going to ever be fulfilled as long as minorities in this country cannot fully enjoy the American way of life. It's the greatest way of life in the world.
His concern for racial equality and his fierce pride were sometimes mistaken for hostility. But there was no mistaking his peerless skills as a ball carrier. The one and only Jim Brown, without a doubt, the greatest of them all.
Irv, did he ever feel the pressure of being Jimmy Brown?
You know, Brent, he told me that he had to give a performance every Sunday. He had to rush for 100 yards plus or he had a bad day. So that was pressure on him, no doubt about it.
His performances were unbelievable, too. Now let's send you back to the stadium and the game you're enjoying on CBS.
It's been that kind of a year for the San Francisco 49ers, and a team with an outstanding passing offense for Montana. Not that way in this game. Kansas City leading 10-3 at halftime, and going in as we set the battle between the fine passing offense of San Francisco, certainly the most prolific in the NFC, against the great defense of Kansas City against the pass. Kansas City certainly has dominated in that category, Jim.
I think you brought up an excellent point earlier when we said that for Kansas City to win this game, their defense has to play well. They certainly have. They forced an interception, forced a fumble, which stopped San Francisco from driving down the field and going on in to score. San Francisco, I think, will probably start to throw the ball a little bit more in the second half. They tried to run, I should say, more than normal in the first quarter. They found out that didn't work when Joe Montana was a leading rusher. So you don't want your quarterback to be the leading rusher. As far as the Chiefs are concerned, just keep doing what they're doing. The defense has to continue to play well. For the second half, they have to remember that football is not a 30-minute game. It is a 60-minute game. And in order for the Chiefs to come on and win, they must play well in the second 30 minutes this afternoon.
All right, we're going to show you the only touchdown of the game so far, and it was a dramatic score, particularly for a team that doesn't get many this way. Bill Kenny's touchdown pass to Anthony Hancock.
And, of course, the big play was Hadnot making the tremendous block, picking up the blitz, throwing the ball into the end zone. Anthony Hancock beating Eric Wright on that side, going in, catching the ball right at the goal line, and in for the score.
And for Anthony Hancock, the top draft choice out of Tennessee, his first NFL touchdown reception. And that's the margin right now, 10-3 the score in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs over San Francisco. And for Kansas City, their much maligned offensive line hasn't done that bad a job of protecting from Mr. Kenny. We'll see what happens in the second half in just a moment.
It's a funny feeling when you're 17, just finished school, times are lean, don't have a job, don't know what to do, never learned a skill, and you want to work too. Well, you know the services have the means to teach someone who's still in his teens. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, they'll take you, train you, show you the way. You'll work hard, get decent pay in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Serving your country's a real good start, helping pay for colleges and services part. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Future in doubt, shed that lead. Join the services and get ahead in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
John Houseman for the investment firm of Smith Barney.
Is bigger better? Smith Barney has always believed in substance over size. A nimble mind, a watchful eye, and the ability to move swiftly. In a changing environment, it's a matter of brains, not brawn. Smith Barney, they make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it.
There's a lot you can have with a new Subaru station wagon, like great mileage, front-wheel drive, or on-demand four-wheel drive, power windows, tilt steering wheel, power steering. In fact, it's so packed with value that our station wagon can be a very involving experience. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Budweiser Light, with a clean, distinctive taste worthy of the king of beers. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by Atari, makers of home video games and home video game systems for fun everyone can share.
And we're ready for the second half kickoff. Nick Lowry will do the booting for the Kansas City Chiefs. Deep for San Francisco, Dana McLemore and Amos Lawrence. 10-3, Kansas City leading San Francisco, and we're underway for the second half, and it's McLemore at the 11-yard line. McLemore, the rookie, breaks a couple of tackles, and he's finally down at the 31-yard line. And making the play was Herb Christopher, a safety. So Dana McLemore, who made the team a special teams athlete and winds up to be pretty good in the secondary as well. And there was Christopher, who made the stop. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for San Francisco at the 36-yard line. 49ers were outgained in the first half. Actually, total yards, they were outgained on the ground. At the 36, 1st and 10, play action. And the keeper, Montana, to Russ Francis, who has it, and a first down into Kansas City territory at the 48, and linebacker Thomas Howard makes the stop. So Russ Francis, who gets his first start, now has caught 6 passes this afternoon.
And immediately we are seeing that the 49ers are going to start throwing the ball a little bit more in the second half. They tried to run in the first half. It really didn't work that much for them, and so they're down by 7. They figure they better do what they do best, and that is put the ball in the air.
He was a deep threat with the New England Patriots. He was out a year. 1st and 10 at the 48. In motion is Jeff Moore, and to the air again, this time to Dwight Clark with those great hands. Another San Francisco first down at the 35-yard line. Clark caught only 1 pass in the first half. Gary Spaney makes the tackle, and he's got those super hands, as he's shown so many times.
He certainly does. Now, immediately what Kansas City had better do in order to stop these kinds of things from happening, they're going to have to start blitzing a little bit more up front. They're going to have to start doing some twisting by their defensive linemen in order to put some pressure on the offensive line of San Francisco. If not, Montana will have a field day in the second half.
There's Clark on the left, Solomon to the right, and Moore is in motion. 1st and 10 at the 35, and Bill Ring is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. And a fine play by Jerry Blanton, the left inside linebacker. So every time the 49ers seem to get something going, Jim, Kansas City doesn't let them off the mark.
That particular time, Blanton was the blitzing linebacker, came in and got a hold of Ring in the backfield. But once again, this is what Kansas City has to do. Sometimes we continue to talk about these things, but it's very, very simple. If they're going to stay in this game and win, then they must continue to have fine performances from their defense.
Derwood Rockmore, number 38, is a nickel back, and Don Parrish, 61, is a 4th down lineman for Kansas City. 2nd and 11, and a deep drop for Montana, and he finds Earl Cooper. And Cooper diving forward to the 27-yard line. Thomas Howard holds on. Earl Cooper started the season as the running back, and a good receiver he is. Lost his starting role to Bill Ring, but the best thing he does is what we just saw him do: catch passes coming out of the backfield.
Coming out of the backfield, exactly so. And so much of the 49er offensive attack, passing-wise, is on timing. And unless you can disrupt that, then they're going to just march right down the field like they're trying to do now.
It's 3rd and 2 for the Niners at the 27. Charlie Young and Russ Francis are dual tight ends. In motion, Freddie Solomon. And play action pass. Going up on top, and no one is there except defensive back Gary Green. Freddie Solomon was the intended receiver, and he was nowhere near the football.
Well, the Chiefs then did an excellent job of covering in the secondaries. Solomon and Russ Francis running a crossing pattern. Francis going from inside out, Solomon from outside in, and what happened was that the Chiefs just happened to be in one of those defenses, a zone defense, where they were in perfect position.
So Ray Wersching is in the game to try to bring the 49ers closer. He hit on a 32-yard field goal, his only attempt in the first half. Montana holding. This will be a 44-yard attempt. And this kick is long enough, and this kick is good. So Ray Wersching has added his second field goal of the ball game, and with 12:04 remaining in the third quarter, the score now, Kansas City 10-6 for San Francisco.
Born of tradition, nurtured by pride. Budweiser Light, with a clean, distinctive taste. A light beer worthy of the king of beers.
Bring out your best. Bring out your best.
The best never comes easy.
Budweiser Light.
That's why there's nothing else like it.
Budweiser Light.
You can get a Subaru hatchback with either front-wheel drive or on-demand four-wheel drive. Either way, the most important drive they put you on is in economy drive, with low sticker prices and the kind of mileage that lets you feed your family instead of your car. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Thompson, right? There's the scoring drive, and a quick one here. Those quick passes that Joe Montana made renowned last year in the 49ers Super Bowl victory. Ray Wersching, who has kicked the 44-yard field goal to make it 10-6, will be kicking off. The deep man is Anthony Hancock at the goal line. There he is, and he's got some help. Rockmore and Thompson nearby, and this is going to go to Hancock at the 12-yard line. He's got great speed, and he brings the ball out to the 33-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Kansas City. Jerry Beeson makes the tackle. Next week, NFL doubleheader on CBS. The first game, the St. Louis Cardinals against the Washington Redskins. Both seem to be primed for the playoffs. The Redskins, of course, right behind Dallas. And in the NFL today, it all starts. Second game of the doubleheader, you'll see the Green Bay at Detroit or the Rams at San Francisco 49ers. Joe Delaney with a hole gets up to the 39-yard line. He had a good block from Charlie Getty, the right tackle. And John Hardy made the tackle on Joe Delaney. Joe Delaney came out of Northwest Louisiana and was really an unknown when he played in the blue-gray game and played in the college all-star games a couple of years ago. 1,100 yards last season. And he said he had Sugar Ray's disease, the detached retina, but fortunately for everyone concerned, he came back from that, and he's been fighting some small hurts.
I'd like to see him go through a full season without any injuries. He could really be something.
2nd and 4 at the 40. Delaney again, nothing, maybe a yard. And it was Keena Turner coming up strong to meet him. Keena Turner, to talk about Pro Bowl people, has to be on the verge of that honor any time now. He's only in his 3rd year, and he made his mark last season. He's not flashy, shunns the limelight, but oh, so tough he is.
He always operates at a very high rate of consistency. There are some players who have good games and bad games. His games are always on that very, very high rate. You very seldom see him have a bad game. He always, when a player performs like that, sometimes you tend to take his performance for granted.
3rd and 2 for Kenny. 6 new players in on defense for the Niners, and Kenny is going to run for the first down. First down, Kansas City at the 47-yard line. Lawrence Pillars brought him from behind, and so Kenny gives Montana a little of his own medicine.
Certainly did, and he did the right thing by ducking the bullet, because Fred Dean was coming, and he was really aiming at his head. You watch Kenny getting back into the backfield, seeing that everyone is covered. 49ers did a good job. Now, as he starts to come upfield, his peripheral vision will see Fred Dean right there, and he decides he better duck the bullet and get out of the way. Good for him. Henry Marshall is the lone wide receiver to the left. Carlos Carson in the slot, 1st and 10 at the 47. 10-6 the score, and Marshall is in motion, and Hadnot, the big 245-pound fullback, bursts forward to the 49 of San Francisco, and a pickup of maybe 4 or 5 yards on the play. Hadnot can pick up 5 yards by just falling forward. He certainly can. 6'2", 245. It's like trying to tackle a Mack truck out there, and he just knocked Jack Reynolds back 4 or 5 yards. Ed Judy, the linebacker, and Pete Kugler, the nose tackle, make the stop. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. They're in San Francisco territory. There's Hadnot.
some play action. And Kenny has time, had time, we should say, and he is dumped by Hardy behind the line. The whistle blows. John Hardy, who is playing right end and was drafted to be a nose tackle, but because of all the injuries on the defensive line has been forced to move. He's out of the University of Iowa.
He was trying to hit Carlos Carson on a crossing pattern, but Dwight Hicks did a good job of covering him, and that's what caused the sack. 5th sack of the game, and the Chiefs now have allowed 38, second worst in the NFL. Actually, Houston allowed 35. We don't know what's happened to poor Archie Manning in that game. 3rd and 14 at the 43. 5 times Kenny's gone down. He fakes a throw, and he's tripped up from behind, and he gets to midfield. It'll be 4th down and 7 yards, and Stover makes the tackle from behind, and they're going to punt. It'll be 4th and 7. And Jeff Gossett is in to kick. There's Gossett. Freddie Solomon is back for the 49ers at the 10. Gossett is looking to get it inside the 20-yard line, and there is Freddie Solomon at the 15. Solomon dives to the 21-yard line, and so it'll be San Francisco ball, 1st and 10. 7:49 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Gary Spaney made the tackle.
Only from Atari. Made especially for systems from Atari. The video game that lets you help E.T. get home. Just in time for Christmas. Happy holidays from Atari.
Gary Spaney, the fine linebacker for the Chiefs, was shaken up and has just come off the field. Meanwhile, the 49ers, trailing 10-6, have it 1st and 10 on their own 22-yard line. Dick Stockton and Jim Hill here at Arrowhead Stadium. Mike Wilson, number 85, Russ Francis. They have a bunch of receivers with Moore and Ring going out for passes. Wilson, and almost intercepted by Burris. Lloyd Burris almost intercepted that, and he would have had an easy 15-yard touchdown scamper.
He played that one perfectly, and he's had a pretty good game this afternoon himself. He's blocked a punt, almost coming up with an interception here. He's been on numerous tackles throughout the course of the afternoon. And this is what we were talking about disrupting the timing of the 49ers, because their passing attack is basically timing. If you're able to move those or bump those wide receivers around a little bit, you can come up with a big play like that.
It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 22. Rockmore is a nickel back for Kansas City. Montana trying to move the ball again. Up the middle, it's tipped by Charles Jackson, the linebacker. The pass was intended for Mike Wilson. So now what the Niners are doing, they're sending everyone out on passing plays reminiscent of the old Oakland Raiders with Kenny Stabler when he had everyone go out.
And of course, this can really serve to hurt you when you go from one extreme to the other. I mean, we aren't even, we're just about halfway through the 3rd period now. They're only down 10-6. And when you go to this extreme, it can lead to a big turnover, an interception by the Chiefs, which is what they're looking for now.
These teams have not played all that often. This is the 3rd game of the series. The 49ers won here at Arrowhead, and the Chiefs won in San Francisco. 3rd and 10 at the 22. Here comes a game on, and the pass is complete to Russ Francis. I think Russ Francis has a 1st down. Lloyd Burris makes the stop, but the forward motion of Francis good enough for 11 yards and a San Francisco 1st down. So they're going to Russ a lot today. That's the 7th reception of the game.
And they're doing a lot of things with Russ Francis like the Chargers do with Kellen Winslow. That is, they can move him out, make him a wide receiver, put him into motion. Here, once again, running a crossing pattern like we mentioned before. Tight ends or wide receivers running crossing patterns are very difficult to stop.
At the 34, 1st and 10. Francis, 7 catches, 85 yards. This time it's Jeff Moore with Randy Cross trying to block, and Gary Green forces the play nicely. Gary Green came in and just fought through the blockers and did not allow Jeff Moore to get any running room. Of course, the 49er running backs have not had much running room this year, Jim.
That's right, and the running backs that they started out with at the beginning of the year were hurt, and they were about average. So when you lose your average people as starters, gets down towards the tail end of the season, you're using other people, you're really hurting, and that's what their running attack is right now. It's really hurting.
Well, Ricky Patton, who was their leading rusher last year, was cut before the season started and was just signed a couple of weeks ago. Less than that. 2nd and 10 at the 34. Under 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Bill Ring goes in motion. And Ring is the receiver, and Eric Harris can't make the tackle, and Bill Ring gets past Eric Harris, and it's Charles Jackson that knocks him out of bounds, but not before the 49ers have a 1st down short of midfield. And I admire Bill Ring. He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers shortly, and he came under the wing of Rocky Blyer, who represented him as a 14-yard pickup. And this guy can really scamper. He gets tough yards, and while he doesn't have good speed, I think he epitomizes a lot of the hustle that this club had last year.
Just a tough, hard-nosed football player.
At the 49, 1st and 10 49ers. Mike Wilson is wide right, and Ring with the tough yards dives forward and picks up close to 5. Right up the middle, it was Blanton and Spaney, the inside linebackers, that finally stopped the Express. Not a big guy, 5'10", only 215 pounds. From Belmont, California, which is right near where the 49ers train, so he's a local hero in the Bay Area. It'll be 2nd and let's call it 6 at the 47. San Francisco trailing 10-6 here. Bill Ring working in this drive. 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. And Ring again. And not this time, Ken Kramer, who led the team in sacks last year with help from Gary Spaney, stopped Bill Ring cold.
Once again, because of the lack of speed that the 49ers have at the running back position, this is enabling the Chiefs to really catch up to their running backs when they try and run a sweep like that. That's why Kramer was able to get in and make the tackle then.
This has been a cleanly played game. There have been only 4 penalties, each for 5-yarders, no major infractions. It's been a fluid game. Kansas City's defense has been the key. 3rd and 6 at the 47. Montana up the middle. He has Dwight Clark, and Gary Green brings him down, but not before Clark has a 1st down at the 26-yard line. Dwight Clark, whose parents drove 20 hours from Charlotte, North Carolina to get to this game, and Montana's parents are here, so they have to be proud on this hookup.
And Clark got away from Gary Green this time, running a crossing pattern, and Clark is just a little upset because he feels that Green was just maybe he was a little rougher than he should have been going at his head. Now Gary will come up and throw the elbow right at his head right there, and of course that's just something that D-backs always do.
20-yard pickup. They go to Moore on the screen. Moore spinning his way, trying to churn to the 20-yard line on 1st down, and is stopped. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Lindstrom and Blanton the tackle. 49ers have to be disappoint Bill Walsh this year, and I think a lot of the young players didn't realize what it would take to keep the crown.
That's exactly right. They came back this year. I think some of them had the big heads, so to speak, and the people that had the big heads were the ones that were at vital positions, the skilled positions, defensive backs, wide receivers, and they found out that you just can't come back and think that everybody's going to roll over for you.
Injuries have been a factor, but that's not the whole story. 2nd and 5 at the 22. 3:40 to go. Montana trying to put his team in front. He's being chased. And out of bounds. And let's see if they call a late hit out of bounds. An official went sprawling. Thomas Howard drove Montana out of there. No flag down. Jerry Seaman took a header along with Howard and Montana.
Now we'll be able to see if it is a late hit, or if they were trying to hold each other up, or if they were just slipping going out of bounds.
No. There was no late hit. Let's see if we can play it. I think he was just trying to hold on.
I don't think it was a late hit. No, if he was going to really have a late hit on Montana, you would have seen it long before that.
Dwight Clark and Mike Wilson out to the left. Russ Francis wide right. 3rd and 8 at the 25. Crowd yelling for the Chiefs defense to tighten up, and they do. Pressure on Montana by Art Still and Burris.
For them to have Art Still to come out and to play the way that he has this afternoon, that's one of the reasons why they're leading, because he's had an outstanding day.
A 42-yard field goal attempt by Wersching, who has kicked 2 so far. Montana's holding. And Ray's kick is good. And so Ray Wersching's toe is accounted for 9 San Francisco points. And with 3 minutes and 27 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, the Niners trail by a single digit.
This amazing innovation from Subaru overcomes 2 problems: bad weather and the hassle of shifting gears. It combines the extra measure of safety and traction of on-demand 4-wheel drive with the ease of an automatic transmission. Now there's 4-wheel drive anybody can drive. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
This Bud's for everyone who's ready for the action when the whistle blows. Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. For all you do. This Bud's for you.
New Year's Day on CBS Sports, the arm of Dan Marino and his Pittsburgh Panthers against the Pony Express rushing attack of undefeated SMU, the Cotton Bowl on CBS Sports.
10-9 the score. The 49ers have not dented the Kansas City end zone, but Ray Wersching has accounted for 3 field goals today. 32 yards, 44, and now the 42-yarder. So he's had a fine afternoon. And is 11 for 15 on the year. Anthony Hancock, who has caught the only touchdown pass, is back there with Rockmore and Del Thompson. And this will go to Hancock at the 2. And Hancock to the 23-yard line. Scores around the league. The New York Giants in a must game for them, trailing St. Louis 17-7. Cardinals have not won at home all year. Detroit ahead of Tampa Bay 21-13 in the 3rd quarter. And next week on CBS, the Detroit Lions will go against the Green Bay Packers. 2nd game of our doubleheader. St. Louis at Washington in the 1st game. Cardinals are playing good ball. Redskins, of course, as well. Packers and Lions, or the Rams and the 49ers. All starts with the NFL today. 3:16 remaining in the third quarter. 1st and 10 at the 23. Pass to Henry Marshall is caught. Short of a first down. They're at the 31-yard line, and Tim Collier defends. Collier, by the way, is a former Kansas City Chief. He was a 9th-round draft pick back in '76 before he was traded to the Cardinals, and then the Niners picked him up as a free agent.
And he also wants to prove that the Chiefs made a mistake in letting him go. But he came up, did a good job on Henry Marshall. And once again, we have to talk about the size of Marshall and his speed. That's what makes him such a fine receiver.
2nd and 2 at the 31. Inside handoff to Hadnot, and Hadnot is stopped cold. So it'll be 3rd and 2, and Pete Kugler from Penn State, number 67, was right there. Kugler, by the way, was a lineman who played both ways at Penn State. He replaced Matt Millen as a defensive tackle at college. Also came in when Bruce Clark was out, so he replaced some important people. Kugler, 255 pounds, had a sprained neck, didn't play against the Falcons. 3rd and call it a yard and a half. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, and Henry Marshall, 89, in motion, and pressure on Kenny. He's going for Carson, who can't hold on to the ball. And Ronnie Lott played Carson well, got his hands in there and got the ball away when Carson appeared to have beaten him.
Ball just off Carson's hand, and Ronnie Lott, who had such a great year as a rookie last season, is one of the few people in the secondary who is still playing well this year. The ball coming down, you see it hit right in Carson's hand, and then Ronnie Lott, looking at Carson, realizing that the ball is there, sticks his hand up and knocks it down.
Former basketball player as well as football at USC, Ronnie Lott knows how to use the hands. So Jeff Gossett will punt on 4th down, and Freddie Solomon is back. Good punt by Gossett. Solomon at the 25, looking for room, and he's got none. Stopped in his tracks at the 27-yard line, and fine play by Al Steinfeld from C.W. Post College. We'll be back.
It's so easy to catch someone's eye, and so easy to lose it. It's so easy to get their attention, and so easy to lose it.
Why let the itch of dandruff be what they notice when it's so easy to control with Head & Shoulders? Head & Shoulders leaves your hair soft, shiny, captivatingly clean. Lose that itch and keep their attention with Head & Shoulders.
It's so easy.
After an afternoon of this, you're not just tired, you're exhausted. That's why one thing waiting for every player in the NFL is Coast Deodorant Soap. With its stimulating scent and lather that feels terrific, Coast refreshes you and restores you and picks you up in a way no other soap can. And if Coast can help after this, imagine how it can make you feel after a day in the office. No tired is too tired for Coast.
There's Al Steinfeld, who had a tryout with the Eagles last year out of C.W. Post College in Long Island, and our director, Bob Dunphy, went to summer school there. Of course, he went to undergraduate at Notre Dame, and I don't know why he had to go to C.W. Post in the summer, but that's something we'll find out later. 1st and 10, Joe Montana on the run, and Freddie Solomon is hit hard by Gary Green, incomplete pass. Freddie Solomon is really an unhappy man these days because all he hears from Bill Walsh is that Ronaldo Nehemiah is our wide receiver of the future, and that means that Solomon could be the odd man out.
And in the back of his mind, you know, people in the National Football League hate to have you talk about others at their position who will be there in the future. They feel like they're playing head games with him right now. They haven't been throwing the ball to him that much, so consequently his performance is on the downside this year.
He'll be a bridegroom on Tuesday. Gary Green, 2nd and 10 at the 28. Montana, with his familiar rollout, drills it to Dwight Clark, who can't hold on.
He was so wide open. I think he tried to run a little bit before he had the ball really in his hands. And sometimes these are the toughest ones to catch, Dick. You're wide open. Gary Green is off him quite a bit. Montana pulls up and spots Clark open, wide open. There's no one within 5 or 6 yards of him. You see he's turned his head right there. And that's why he dropped it. He's having a great year.
3rd and 10. Montana rolling out the other way. And this time Clark catches it. And Clark is gone to the 40, 35, and Dwight Clark brought down at the 22. And to Joe Montana's credit, he went right back to his favorite target. And did he ramble with the ball after the fine catch? Barbaro and Harris make the tackle on Clark.
We're talking about Dwight Clark having a great year, running a crossing pattern. Now, the great sign of a good receiver is he sees his quarterback in trouble. His quarterback starts to come back. He stops his original pattern, comes back, gets away from Barbaro, gets away from Gary Green, moves the ball down to great field position for the 49ers at the Chiefs' 22-yard line. Just a great run after he caught the pass.
A big gainer by Dwight Clark. 57 yards. 1st and 10 at the 21 for the Niners. And Moore, with a blocker in front of him, battles his way to the 15, picks up close to 6 yards on the carry. Charles Jackson makes the stop. Bill Ring, the fullback, at 2:15, really set the good block for Jeff Moore. Paid attendance here at Arrowhead Stadium is 24,319. They had 9,800 no-shows. And when the season started, you looked at the schedule, and this would have been the last game of the regular season. You look at San Francisco at Kansas City, and the Chiefs people had to say, oh, this is terrific. We're going to have a full house for the defending Super Bowl champs. We almost made the playoffs last year. Should be a great game. But then this has been a strange season indeed. 3rd quarter is over. We'll be back.
Oh, Popeye! See my 1983 Toyota Corolla.
It looks the same as Kozlowski.
But it's not.
The new 1983 Corolla may look the same as last year.
But it's not.
The 83 Corolla has a new engine that's lighter and gets 18% better gas mileage. And a new suspension that rides real smooth.
And look at this fabulous new interior.
The new 1983 Toyota Corolla. It looks the same.
But it's not.
You in a bad mood?
I just hate talking in the morning.
I'll let you shave.
No, stay.
You use Noxzema.
Yeah, Noxzema gives me a great shave. It does something to condition my skin.
It softens it.
Huh?
I can tell when you kiss me. Your face feels real smooth.
Well, I guess it's the moisturizes it.
I hate talking in the morning, too.
Noxzema medicated shave cream. Share the softness.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the wine cellars of Ernest and Julio Gallo. And by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge.
Marv Levy knows what it's like to win a championship. He did it twice in the Canadian League, 2 Grey Cups, playoffs every year at Montreal. Almost did it last year, Kansas City. Trying to protect the lead, 2nd and 5, and Montana's pass is caught by Moore. And I think with Lloyd Burris making the play, I think the Kansas City defense read that play perfectly, Jim.
They certainly did. One of the great things that a defensive unit will do, the closer you get to their goal line, the more ferocious they will play. We're getting a good example of that by the Chiefs' defensive unit, not only in this particular drive, but throughout the course of the afternoon.
It'll be 3rd and 3. Dick Stockton and Jim Hill, opening minute of the 4th quarter. Kansas City leading 10-9. 3 field goals by Wershing, and he may be called on again if Montana can't get the 3 yards. Moore inside, and it looks like he's got it. Lindstrom, the tackle. Lindstrom has been a pretty good backup for both Bell and Still. Steady performer, but forced to start with Bell's absence. They're going to measure, and I said they had it, and they may not, but let's check. Randy Cross, who made an incredible comeback this year from a Memorial Day injury, will return to Arrowhead Stadium now after this word from your local station.
With auto plants closing down all over America, who would be crazy enough to build and open a new one in Tennessee? The Japanese, that's who. 60 Minutes this evening on CBS.
Randy Cross out of the game. He had the torn ligaments in the fractured ankle. Memorial Day, Walt Downing, number 62, replaces him. They had the first down, 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Russ Francis is there. Did he get in? No, he's a yard away. Francis clobbered as he caught the ball by Lloyd Burris on the cross pattern. He lives in Hawaii now. In order to get him, Bill Walsh had to trade a 1st and 4th round draft choice to the Patriots.
And even though Russ has dropped a couple of passes today, he's had an outstanding afternoon. Once again, going to the corner, running a crossing pattern wide open until Burris comes over and makes a tackle, knocks him out about the 2-yard line. I think he may have gotten the wind knocked out of him just a little bit.
Francis is shaken up. Charlie Young, of course, has been the starter all season, and there's also Eason Ramson. But we're going to take a break here. Bill Walsh figuring out what to do. He's a yard away from taking the lead.
Michelob Light for the winners this time, huh?
Oh, you enjoy being buried in the sand.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Lights for the winners.
Ah, the sea, the sun, the sand.
The check.
The check.
If your boss said you could pick any new typewriter, what would you choose?
IBM. IBM.
IBM.
IBM.
Every year, there are more and more typewriters to choose from. But which one is still preferred most?
IBM.
If you could have anything you want right on your desk, what would you choose?
A raise.
Dick Stockton and Jim Hill here at Arrowhead Stadium. A lot of empty seats, but they're seeing a close ball game, and they're seeing the Kansas City Chiefs play a rock'em sock'em defensive game. But the 49ers nibbling away, a yard away from taking the lead. And there's Bob McKittrick. How can he wear that short sleeve shirt?
The players say some strange things about him. He's the offensive line coach for the 49ers. Does an excellent job. I guess that's a sign of showing how tough he wants them to be.
2nd and 1. And Moore hurdles over. Did not make it. It'll be 3rd down. When you get this close and you have a quarterback like Montana, you can do a lot of things. You can sprint. You can do the old keeper play. And considering the problems they've had at running back, they really don't have the big back to bang it in.
That's right. And also from a defensive standpoint, you look for the Chiefs in the secondary or from one of their linebackers to come up with a very big play, because their down linemen, defensive linemen, are going to be right down on the turf trying to submarine everyone.
They got a 1st down, though. They needed just a little bit for a 1st down, so it's 1st and goal. That's how close they are to the end zone. And here is Jeff Moore, who's in for the touchdown. And the 49ers take the lead. Jeff Moore with his 4th touchdown rushing of the year, and that gives him 8 for the season, and a block by Eason Ramson. Watch number 80. He made the key block for Moore to score.
Out of the I formation, Moore starts up the middle of the field, and watch, he breaks it off, cuts back to the outside, gets away from Green, breaks a couple of tacklers, and gets on into the end zone. That was a good job of running by Moore.
So Wershing will try the conversion. 13:21 remaining in the 4th quarter, and the kick is perfect. And so the San Francisco 49ers have taken the lead here, 16-10, but we have a lot of time to go in this 4th quarter.
Only one truck can be America's lowest price truck. It's Mazda's B2000 Sundowner, and that $57.95 price includes standard features Datsun and Toyota don't even offer on their economy trucks, like a 5-speed, steel-belted radials, tinted glass, full carpeting, and Mazda B2000 Sundowner even gets better gas mileage.
Only Mazda's got a truck for just $57.95.
When I'm not on the typewriter, I'm on the phone. I'm either writing about the sea or seeing about my writing.
hurrying for a deadline, or a phone line. This helps a lot with the calling card from Bell. It makes calling faster, easier, cheaper, and there's no charge for the card.
If you're on the phone a lot, it helps a lot. To order, call your telephone business office.
I use it everywhere I go. Well, almost everywhere.
New Year's Day on CBS Sports, the arm of Dan Marino and his Pittsburgh Panthers against the Pony Express rushing attack of undefeated SMU, the Cotton Bowl on CBS Sports.
What a matchup New Year's Day. The Cotton Bowl on CBS, the Pitt Panthers in that great matchup, and hook up Dan Marino and Julius Dawkins throwing.
And on the other side, the SMU Mustangs, the Mustang Express. I don't think you'll find a better combination of running backs in the country in the same backfield as Craig James and Anthony Dickerson. Those are two good ones.
The Cotton Bowl New Year's Day. It all starts 1:30 Eastern on CBS Sports. Ray Wersching, who has accounted for 3 field goals and a conversion, will kick off for the 49ers, who lead for the first time in the game, 16-10. Anthony Hancock at the 6-yard line. Trying to get some running room, but can't as he's dropped at the 22-yard line. Chiefs go on offense. Milton McCall makes the stop. Coming up next, the Philadelphia Eagles. What would make them their season a victory over the Cowboys at Texas Stadium?
Very simple. You know, as you mentioned before, Dick Vermeil is going to have his squad up. Ron Jaworski obviously is going to put the ball in the air. He'll be looking for Harold Carmichael. Wilbert Montgomery hopes to have another good game on the ground. So that is always a tough ball game for both squads.
And Danny White and his bevy of receivers, including Butch Johnson with the California Quake, Tony Dorsett. They've got a lot of people on offense, that team. Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles. Carson makes a terrific catch from a Kenny Bullitt, and a first down short of the 40-yard line. Dwight Hicks the hit on Carlos Carson, but you have to be an outstanding receiver to make this catch.
The reason for this is watch Tim Colley, number 47. He's holding him. The ball is in the air right now. Could have easily been called pass interference. Carson does a great job of concentrating, watching the ball, picking up enough yardage for the first down. That's a great catch.
Third reception of the game for Carson. Hancock has caught 2, including a touchdown. Marshall 3. Kenny spreading it around. 1st and 10 at the 39 for the Chiefs. Delaney to midfield, and Joe Delaney may have another Kansas City first down. Delaney's now carried 7 times for 34 yards. An 11-yard pickup for Joe. Kansas City took the lead 3-0 on a Lowry field goal. Wersching tied it up. There's an injured 49er player. Kenny hit Hancock 41 yards to make it 10-3. And then in the third quarter, the 49ers crept back with Wersching. 2 field goals, 44 and 42 yards. And then Jeff Moore went over from the 1 to give San Francisco the 16-10 lead. We're going to take a break with a 49er player injured. Maybe Eric Wright. We'll be back.
There's a time in life for the young to say, I want something else, a different way. The town's the same, the people too. School is over, needs something to do. The services have it, it'll really show. You'll see new places, you'll really grow in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Challenge, adventure, excitement too, a time to enjoy and see something new. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You'll work hard, feel really free, serving your country for all to see in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Be part of a team, be friends forever. A part of the services you won't forget ever. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
Jim O'Brien and family recently lost their home. Today, they're getting it all back.
Allstate update. Home replacement cost guarantee.
Unlike 9 out of 10 homeowners today, the O'Briens never had to worry. They had more than a guard against inflation. They had Allstate's promise to pay to rebuild their home right down to the door knocker, no matter what the cost. That's Allstate's guarantee. Put yourself in good hands.
Not Eric Wright. Ed Judy is shaken up, and he goes out of the ball game as the 49ers. It's like Grand Central Station. Every time there's a passing situation with as many as 6 players coming in. 1st and 10 at midfield for the Kansas City Chiefs with 12:08 to go in the 4th quarter. Kenny's pass is incomplete. He threw in a crowd. Carlos Carson was the intended receiver, Ronnie Lott, Tim Collier there, and Dwight Hicks as well, but mostly Ronnie Lott.
One of the problems that Kenny is having this afternoon is when he gets ready to come out and throw to one receiver, he always keeps his eye on his primary receiver. A lot of times you can get people hurt. You can get an interception. Joe Delaney was coming out of the backfield, was wide open, didn't have anyone around him for some 8 or 9 yards.
This time Marshall is wide right, Carson to the left, 2nd and 10. 16-10, the 49ers lead, and they're protecting against the deep pass, and Kenny drills it, and this one is dropped by Carson or ticked away. We'll wait and see. He was covered by Tim Collier. 49ers defending, but Carlos Carson the target there, and I'll tell you, Kenny is drilling those passes.
He certainly is, and this is another thing the quarterbacks have to make an adjustment in this kind of weather. Certainly some of the wide receivers are wearing gloves, and there are different thoughts on maybe they should or should not wear gloves. The quarterbacks have to make that adjustment in adding a little finer touch to the pass when you throw in the colder weather, because the ball is hard and tougher to catch.
3rd and 10, midfield. Kenny tried to go to Henry Marshall, but threw it behind him. It'll be 4th down, and so the consistency lacking there. Lynn Thomas, among others, defending on the play, and it's 4th down, and coming into punt will be Jeff Gossett. So Kenny, who's clicked on a couple of big pass plays, and this is the Kansas City problem. No one has really taken hold of the quarterback position, Steve Fuller or Bill Kenny, and we can begin to speculate on what the Chiefs might do to improve themselves. Meanwhile, Freddie Solomon is deep, and Gossett will kick with nearly 12 minutes to go in this game. The 49ers will go on offense again, and this kick bounces into the end zone for a touchback. The 49ers will take it out at the 20 when we come back to Arrowhead Stadium in just a moment.
Only one truck can be America's lowest price truck. It's Mazda's B2000 Sundowner, and that $57.95 price includes standard features Datsun and Toyota don't even offer on their economy trucks, like a 5-speed, steel-belted radials, tinted glass, full carpeting, and Mazda B2000 Sundowner even gets better gas mileage.
Only Mazda's got a truck for just $57.95.
Some things speak for themselves.
Tuesday night on CBS Sports, Denny Crum returns to Pauley Pavilion as he leads Louisville against UCLA. Top 10 action Tuesday night on the home of the NCAA Championship, CBS Sports.
A brisk day in the Midwest, and Kansas City earmuffs and everything. San Francisco 49ers trying to avert elimination in this NFC race. And this pass is picked off by Eric Harris. Eric Harris, who returned one for a touchdown last week, brings it back to the 30-yard line where Earl Cooper makes the tackle. And for Harris, his 3rd interception of the season, intended for Mike Wilson. Montana was going for Wilson, and it backfired.
Just a good play on the part of Harris, number 44. Now, the Chiefs have just got a big turnover. Ball here going to Sullivan. And you see watch how Harris just comes over and just makes a fine play as he steps in front of the receiver, makes the interception in front of Mike Wilson. Now the Chiefs have the 49ers on the run now. The worst thing in the world that can happen that you want to do is to get conservative and to run the ball. You have him on the run. See if you can come up with a big play yourself.
Well, Marv Levy has always played it conservatively, so let's see if he opens it up. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. The pitch to Hadnot going wide. And Hadnot still on his feet, gets to the 25-yard line. Ronnie Lott and Rick Jervis combine to make the stop on the big fullback, who's a little slow in getting up. But a good gainer to the 19. Marv Levy, who really prefers the blood and guts kind of style of the running game. He wants timeout because Hadnot is hurt. Now, I heard him yell for time, and Hadnot goes out of the ball game. Billy Jackson should replace him, number 43. He doesn't. It's Clark Gaines, number 21, the former New York Jet. 2nd and 5 at the 24. Delaney cutting inside, finds an opening and gets inside the 20, and another first down for Kansas City. Joe Delaney stopped by Bob Horn and Jim Stuckey, the defensive left end.
That was a nice little misdirection play. You always want to do something just a little bit different, something out of the ordinary after a big turnover, and you can't find a better person in the backfield for the Chiefs to do something like that with than Delaney. He has the speed. He's shown signs of true brilliance this afternoon, even though he does not have a lot of yards rushing. There have been times when he's picked up 6, 7, 8 yards at a pop, and he's done it with very little ease.
The measurement, and if they didn't make it, they didn't make it by much. Let's see what the angle shows. It's about an inch or less on 2nd down, which is really a great quarterback down, isn't it?
It certainly is. You can afford to play with 1 down in this particular situation. And by play, I'm talking about you can have a play action pass where, you try and draw the secondary up close. But the Chiefs, like we said before, their history has always been run in situations like this.
3rd down, 3rd and 1. Not 2nd, so they don't have that much to play with. Kenny has it. Kenny leaps over the line and has a first down. So it was 3rd down. Not as much comfort as we had given you the impression, but Kenny makes it all academic with a first down there, and Carson and Marshall will come back on now, those starting wide receivers. First down, Kansas City. Their offensive line, a lot of people blame them for the fact that there have been over 30 sacks against the Chiefs this year. Herkenhoff, Brad Rudney, who has been shaken up and hasn't played that much. Les Studden's been the center. Bob Simmons and Charlie Getty. Tom Condon not playing. Jim Rourke in there. They've done a good job today. 1st and 10. Hadnot. Loose ball. Kugler and Keena Turner. And I think the conservatism you just talked about is not very popular with the 20-some-odd thousand here at Arrowhead Stadium. We started with 24,000. I don't think many left. The game's been pretty close.
No, it's been a pretty good ball game, and the Chiefs have been able to show that they can move the ball through the air throughout the course of the afternoon. But being conservative here, like we mentioned before, it can come back and hurt you.
Chiefs are trailing 16-10, 9:28 to go in the 4th quarter. Quick pass and a short pass. Dixon, the tight end, was the intended receiver, Al Dixon, and that pass just didn't get to him. Dwight Hicks covering.
And of course, if you're Marv Levy, you can say that's why we aren't passing that much, because we can't get the quarterback to get the ball to our receivers.
What about next year? Jack Elway would be the perfect quarterback here, but in order for the Chiefs to get Elway, they'd have to make a deal to move up in the draft list, and I don't know if they have that much to trade.
That's right. They don't have a lot of people here that they could that someone else would really want. Of course, they're the San Diego Chargers, who are really maneuvering, trying to make that particular deal to get Elway.
Yeah, they have a lot of picks that they could deal. 4 down linemen for the 49ers. 3rd and 10, and the swing pass to Hadnot, and Hadnot is slowed up and down by Ron Ferrari. And now listen to him. They don't like this. Ron Ferrari, 7th round draft pick from Illinois and a great hustler. Mike White, the head coach of Illinois, suggested to Bill Walsh he take a flyer on Ferrari, and it paid off. Under 9 minutes remaining, and now Lowry, who has kicked a 40-yard field goal and missed a field goal, will try it from 39 yards with Fuller holding to try to bring the Chiefs to within 3. And the kick is good. So Lowry's second kick is good. And with 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter, San Francisco's lead over Kansas City has been cut to 3 points.
NFL's most valuable player, brought to you by Apple Computer. 1973, Buffalo Bills running back O.J. Simpson delivers the greatest single-season rushing performance in pro football history. The Juice rushes for over 100 yards 11 times and gains an NFL record 2,003 yards on his way to being named the league's most valuable player.
这就是我们的 Apple computer.
My Apple has a great head for stats. It sure makes my job a lot easier.
There are more people in more places doing more things with Apples than with any other personal computer in the world.
Man, we never travel without the Apple.
And of all these people using Apples, most had never touched a computer before. Apple, the most personal computer.
16-13 the score, and Lowry will kick off for the Chiefs. Don't forget the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys coming up after this game. Deep, McLemore and Amos Lawrence. So that's how it's done. And it's McLemore at the 5. Dive short of the 25-yard line. So we'll tell you about this Dallas-Philadelphia rivalry. Vermeil against Tom Landry. The Eagles, of course, got to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And last week, Jim, Tom Landry told us how important that home field advantage is. Can you imagine the Cowboys? They finish first in the NFC. They play at home at Texas Stadium 3 weeks in a row, never having to travel.
I tell you, that would be a tremendous advantage for them, already being a great football team, because other squads really do not like to go into Texas Stadium, period, much less to go in there during the playoffs.
Eason Ramson was shaken up. The third tight end for the 49ers, being tended to now. Chiefs now trying to come back after maintaining the lead throughout the game, although small leads they have been. It's 3-0, then 3-3, and 10-3, and then 2 field goals and a touchdown. Put the 49ers in front by 6, and now it's a 3-point ball game. Ramson's okay, that's good news. And it's 1st and 10 49ers at the 24. Joe Montana. Moore. Jeff Moore got away from one tackler and ended up picking up 6 yards on the play. Good hustle by Jeff Moore. Fourth quarter action, Detroit leading Tampa Bay 21-20. Plenty of time in that game. Green Bay trouncing Atlanta 35-7. The Packers have been in a slump lately, but they've obviously come out of it today against the Falcons, who've been red hot. Fourth quarter in that game in Atlanta, and next Sunday it'll be the Packers against the Lions at the Silverdome in Pontiac. The Cardinals in front of the Giants 17-7. St. Louis heading for the playoffs. Jim Hanifin got his contract extended, and it's a good thing. 2nd and 4 at the 30-yard line. 7:34 remaining in the fourth quarter. And they're going to Jeff Moore again. Moore has a first down as he crosses the 35-yard line. And making the tackle is Gary Spaney, who went to college at Kansas State, not far from here at Manhattan. But Moore has been the key man in the backfield. And you're right, what you pointed out at the top, Jim Hill, that the 49ers have indeed run more in this game than they have in recent contests.
And it looks like right now they're going to go back to that basic running game. When they came out at the beginning of the second half, they were behind. They had to catch up and try and get the lead right away. They did that. Now they're going to try and work on the running game a little more.
They've gained 102 yards rushing in this ball game after averaging only about 70 coming in. 1st and 10 at the 36. Bill Ring clobbered after picking up a couple of yards, and the men in the middle, Ken Kramer and Jerry Blanton, make the tackle. It'll be 2nd down, and let's call it 8. Kansas City defense, an intimidating defense, a little shaky for the first 3 games after the strike, but they've settled down. And once again, you got to credit that secondary. Not so much the pressure on the quarterback, because quarterbacks have had time to throw against the Chiefs. They've had to do a good job covering. There's the view as the Chiefs have it, and the flip pitch out to Moore, head down, and Moore is shy of a first down by about a couple of yards. It'll be third down. Art Still and Gary Green the tackle. The Chiefs have not been a good offensive team, and they're proving it in the second half with only 67 yards. But look what they did in the first half.
Second half, once again, getting rather conservative, even after those turnovers.
That's exactly what that means. 3rd and 2. Charlie Young and Russ Francis, 2 tight ends in there, and it's Moore, first down, San Francisco. At the 47-yard line, Fred Quillen, the Iron Man at center with the key block, and we've seen that play before, haven't we?
Certainly did when they scored the touchdown a little earlier in the game. And there are 2 reasons why the 49ers are running the ball a little bit more right now. Number one, obviously, they want to work on it because their running game has not been good throughout the course of the year. The second reason is they want to keep their defense on the bench as much as possible because their defensive unit has been having all kinds of problems, and they've been struggling. So now they can afford to try and control the game with the lead.
Moore has carried 17 times for 54 yards, 1st and 10 at the 47, and Bill Ring finds an opening and making the stop Charles Jackson from behind. And now San Francisco, and so on the field, Dwight Clark. I guess Dwight Clark is not happy with some of the treatment he's getting from the Chiefs defensive backs.
When you reach a certain level in professional football as being the best or one of the best, you naturally are going to attract all kinds of attention. And Dwight Clark has been getting bumped around quite a bit this afternoon, and he feels some of it has been after the whistle, in bounds, out of bounds, and he's just trying to protect himself a little bit.
Number 44 defense, personal foul, number 87 offense, offsetting dead ball foul.
Dead ball foul. Eric Harris and Dwight Clark called for personal fouls. It'll be 2nd and 3, and Moore goes out of the ball game. 2 tight ends should be in there now, Charlie Young and Russ Francis, and splitting left is Clark and Solomon Wright. 2nd and 3 at the 46. Sprinting out is Montana, and he's going to run for it. He has the first down. Penalty flag is down. Things are heating up a bit here. The chill of the afternoon in Kansas City. 2 flags actually were thrown, one at either side of the field. Both sides of the field. We may have an offsides one way, and that may be against San Francisco, and a personal foul against Kansas City. Now we'll decipher it all. Russ Francis with a few words of advice. It's exactly what it is. Personal foul against the Kansas City Chiefs. Seaman marks it off. Let's see what happened here.
Montana going out, trying to get out, and then all of a sudden he gets to the sideline and stops to see someone come right. It's grab his helmet, and of course NFL officials have been
Illegal motion, number 81 offense. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness to the head, number 52 defense. By rule, we disregard the motion and we tack on the 15-yard penalty on the defense. First down.
Thomas Howard, number 52, was called for it. There's the penalty story. Not many this afternoon, and no major ones. That's the first major penalty we've had.
And as we mentioned, NFL officials have been told to try and cut down on so many blows to the head.
1st and 10 for San Francisco at the Kansas City 27, and Jeff Moore goes nowhere. Lloyd Burris forcing the play nicely, and now they're going at it again. Lindsey Mason and Thomas Howard. And in another skirmish, it looks like Russ Francis has some words for Jerry Blanton inside. we're going to need a referee, another kind of referee soon.
That's right. I think the frustration of the season for both teams is really starting to come to the forefront now. The 49ers have been pushed around and beat up. They were really beat up last week physically by the Atlanta Falcons. The Kansas City Chiefs felt like they had a good shot at making it to the playoffs this week. This year, I should say, take 8 weeks out through the strike, and now they're just starting to play well.
2nd down and 10 at the 27. Montana to throw. Boos echoing from Arrowhead. Montana's toss caught by Moore, and Moore gets himself to the 15-yard line, and another 1st down for the 49ers, Jerry Blanton. And now it's up to the officials to really get control of this ball game.
There is another factor that comes into mind now. Whenever this frustration starts to set in, especially at the skill positions like the defensive backs or the wide receivers, it can really turn around and hurt you, because you get away from concentrating as to what's going on the field, and you have this personal vendetta against someone, and you want to get back at them and get a lick at them. So what can happen? They can burn you for a score.
We have 2:50 remaining in the game. Remember, the Kansas City Chiefs used to have these kind of battles with the Oakland Raiders in the old American Football League, so maybe it's the old Bay Area syndrome here against the 49ers. 1st and 10 at the 15. 2:35 on the clock. Crowd still unhappy. Bill Ring drives inside the 10-yard line. And the 49ers are churning and trying to get the touchdown to put it away. And Lindsey Mason, a former Raider in his own right, left tackle with a good block for Bill Ring. And right now, Marv Levy wanted a timeout. Is really upset right now. Well, he can get the timeout before the 2-minute warning, because there are 2:18 showing on the clock. And it is indeed a timeout charged to Kansas City. It'll be 2nd and 4. NCAA basketball coming your way Tuesday night, when Denny Crum's Louisville Cardinals lost to Georgetown in the semifinals in New Orleans in the Final Four against UCLA. Larry Farmer, the only loss for the Bruins was a double overtime setback, but this is an outstanding team, UCLA. Tell us more about them, Jim Hill. You're from the Los Angeles area.
One of the things that the Bruins basketball team feels this year is that they want to prove something to the rest of the country, because they won probation last year. This is the first year. They say it's a new beginning for them out there. They have some terrific talent in Darren Day, Kenny Fields, Rod Foster, and of course Larry Farmer is doing an excellent job of coaching that squad. They were ranked 3rd in the country going into this week's action, with a record now of 7-1.
11:30 Eastern Tuesday. Bill Walsh over there now with Freddie Solomon. On the other side of the field, Marv Levy, who has been upset.
I think Levy called that timeout to calm his defensive unit down. I think that he felt that they were getting a little bit caught up in trying to be too aggressive and to get back at people rather than concentrate on playing.
2nd and 4 at the 9-yard line for the 49ers, who lead by 3, 16-13. Bill Ring hit immediately, and hit hard by a bunch of red jerseys led by Gary Spaney, number 59. Clock stops, 2:09 showing, and now the Chiefs call another timeout. So they'll have one left. And of course they'll have the automatic stoppage at the 2-minute warning. There's Gary Spaney, who's the anchor of this defense. We've talked about Art Still, about the talented secondary, but Gary Spaney is really an unsung performer. He's on the verge of all-pro recognition, and I guess other than Lambert and Gradishar, probably one of the most outstanding hard-hitting linebackers, and he's really one to watch.
Of course, the Kansas City people feel that if their record was a little bit better, then he would be getting more recognition also.
Coming up next, the Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. Pat Summerall and John Madden at Texas Stadium. Cowboys trying to stay a step ahead of the Washington Redskins. By virtue of their head-to-head victory over Washington, Dallas looking for that home field edge. The Eagles playing for pride, and we're seeing some hard hitting for both of these teams today, playing for pride.
Certainly true. Even though the Chiefs have not been totally eliminated from playoff competition, a loss today would do that. even though that, they still have a lot of things that they want to prove. They want to prove that they can come back and beat a good caliber team like the 49ers.
3rd and 2. This is a big down for Kansas City and for San Francisco. Montana in trouble and down. Big play by the defense. Dino Mangiero, number 74, and Charles Jackson, the linebacker. Mangiero, a free agent from Rutgers, bypassed through the draft. 264 pounds of all hustle.
Once again, the defensive unit for the Chiefs rising to the occasion. Great coverage in the secondary by the Chiefs because they had people running around everywhere, and I think it was a smart move on the part of Marv Levy a little while ago to call that timeout, to calm his people down, and to make sure that they concentrated on playing. Of course, a face mask penalty could have been called on that particular play.
Mangiero and Charles Jackson, and that was a big play because now San Francisco on 4th down going for the field goal, which means that even if Wersching is successful, the Chiefs still have enough time to get a touchdown and a point after to win the ball game. They're trailing by 3. A touchdown for the Niners would have put the game out of reach. We have the 2-minute warning right now. 2 minutes to go. And when we come out of this 2-minute warning, they'll have a field goal attempt by Ray Wersching. So that was a key play for Kansas City's defense. That's been the heart of their team. So Montana has conferred, and he'll come out and hold for Ray Wersching, who has kicked 3 field goals this afternoon from 32, 42, and 44 yards.
And one of the great things about watching Wersching get ready for a field goal attempt, he never looks at the goalpost. As you see, he comes out on the field, he taps Montana on the shoulders and he'll say, help me find it, help me find it. And he will never look up at that goalpost until after he kicks.
It'll be a 33-yard attempt by Wersching. Montana low snap from center, and the kick is good. So the 49ers regain their 6-point lead. It is a 19-13 game in favor of San Francisco, and with 1:56 remaining in the 4th quarter, the Kansas City Chiefs will have an opportunity to win the game, but they're going to have to score a touchdown. Don't go away. The season is heating up. The day is heating up. We've got the Dallas Cowboys playing host to the Philadelphia Eagles next from Texas Stadium. Cowboys, only loss of the year was their opener to the Pittsburgh Steelers. A shocking loss, Tom Landry said, that opening game defeat to Pittsburgh. Dallas hasn't lost since. Can they keep it going against the Eagles today?
Dick, one of the problems facing Kansas City right now is that basically they have been a conservative offensive unit. Now they're forced to, in the last 2 minutes of play, they have to make yardage up in a hurry, and they don't have as many timeouts as they normally would. They only have 1 left. So now when you are put into a position to whereas you have to do things out of the ordinary, you really put a strain on your whole unit.
Wersching's kick, line drive, and Anthony Hancock fields it at the 5-yard line. Hancock to the 25 and claws his way to the 27-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10. Bobby Leopold makes the tackle. Tonight on CBS, what a lineup. 60 minutes. Archie Bunker's Place, Gloria, followed by the Jeffersons, One Day at a Time, and Trapper John MD. So stay with CBS all night for the best in entertainment. 1:51 remaining. 1st and 10, Chiefs at the 28-yard line. Jim Hill says they've got to open it up now. They got Hancock, Carson, and Marshall, 3 wide receivers. They send them all out, and it's to the back Hadnot. Hadnot to the 36-yard line. It'll be 2nd and maybe 4. Keena Turner and Ronnie Lott were there waiting for him. They were handling the underpass. The under coverage, that's the time. And a penalty marker down. Apparently it's against the 49ers. It was thrown down in midfield.
I see what the Chiefs should be doing right now is in the huddle, getting their play together and getting up to the line of scrimmage ready to go. Keep putting that pressure on the 49ers. The 49ers are a little disorganized right now. Now, this is where you can make up a lot of time, get in that huddle, call a couple of plays, and be ready to go as soon as they're ready to snap the ball.
Holding, number 47 defense, penalty decline, second down.
They decline the penalty to Tim Collier. It'll be 2nd and 2 at the 36-yard line. Kansas City with 1 timeout left. That's the time you see at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. But Kenny's going to have to put the ball in the air to get into San Francisco territory soon. His pass is complete to Hancock. He gets to midfield into San Francisco territory at the 49. Lynn Thomas makes the stop, and the Chiefs line up without a huddle. They line up without a huddle. Clock continues to run. The Chiefs need a touchdown. A field goal is no good. And Carson, the intended receiver, and Collier and Dwight Hicks defending on the play, and Carson turned around on that throw, but at least they stopped the clock. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the San Francisco 49. And I've got to think that the 49ers are really going to play that ultra-prevent defense here.
They certainly are. Henry Marshall was open right down the middle of the field, and I'm sure that he went back and told Kenny that he was open, and he wants to get the ball. He wants to get the ball. He's one of those players that in pressure situations, he wants it.
2nd and 10. Here comes pressure on Kenny. He steps up. He's going. And a bump in the secondary. Carson and Tim Collier. Crowd thought there might be interference. No flags. It'll be 3rd and 10. Tampa Bay has taken a 23-21 lead over the Detroit Lions on a Bill Capice field goal. Here's how it finished up, Jim.
Now, this is incidental contact, and of course pass interference is a judgment call by the official. That particular time the official felt that both men were looking up towards the ball, and even though they bumped into each other, it wasn't interference.
It'll be 3rd and 10, and of course the Chiefs have 2 downs to get the first down and keep it rolling. 1:09 remaining. Kenny going for Marshall, knocked away. That was not a good percentage pass to go with your top receiver, who's double covered by Ronnie Lott and Rick Jervis. That was a very difficult pass to try to convert.
This is what I was talking about a little while ago. You put into a situation that is abnormal to you. The Chiefs are not used to coming from behind and winning because their offensive philosophy is basically conservative. So when you have to do that in the last part of the game, it hurts you.
You see Tampa Bay on Capice's field goal taking the lead. It's 4th down. And this is it for Kansas City. Carson, Hancock, and Marshall are the receivers. 4th down and 10. This is it for Kenny. Fires it up for grabs. It's caught by Carson. And a first down at the 27-yard line. "45 seconds. Clock is running, and they throw this out of bounds, stopping it with 40. Carson, the intended receiver. So Kenny connects on a desperation pass to Carson to keep it going, but they still got to get in that end zone, and they're still 28 yards away.
Carson did one heck of a job making an adjustment to catching the ball because it was not a good pass that was thrown. It kind of floated out there. He ducked in behind Tim Collier and made the catch, and now the Chiefs are starting to move a little bit more now. That play really saved them. That, more so than anything else, kept them right in the ballgame.
40 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. The crowd here enthusiastic on its feet. Kenny's pass deflected and caught by Hancock. And let's see, there may be a fumble. The 49ers say they've recovered a fumble. Hancock caught the ball off a deflection by Ronnie Lott inside the 10. and the officials are conferring as to whether Hancock had coughed the ball up before the whistle blew.
comes over, grabs it, goes down, and the officials rule that it is an incomplete pass because the ball is on the ground there.
It's a good call. I don't think he had control, and of course
they're ruling. They're ruling that he did not have control of it.
Well, you couldn't tell by our replay whether he did have control as he was going.
His back was to the camera.
Right. So it's 3rd and 10, 32 seconds to play. The Chiefs thought they might have a first down inside the 10. Kenny has to go back to work. And Kenny's pass is incomplete. He was going for Carson again, and he was really decked this time by Stuckey and Stover. Jim Stuckey and Jeff Stover really knocked Kenny to the ground. It's 4th and 10 with 27 seconds to go. Kenny has been battered from pillar to post today 4 times. Tampa Bay defeats Detroit 23-21 after trailing 21-6. (27 seconds to play). 4th and 10, and so once again Bill Kenny is faced with a 4th down situation, and San Francisco uses one of their 3 timeouts.
First timeout. That is San Francisco's first timeout.
49ers have 2 timeouts to go. Well,
you know, kind of a strange move there, because I think what's happening now is that you're giving Kansas City a chance to really regroup, because they were walking around on the field out there. They were a little disorganized. They were down to 4th down. They have to be concerned now about getting the first down first and the touchdown second. But now San Francisco calls a timeout, and that gives the Chiefs an extra timeout in case they make the first down now.
Timeout Story. The 49ers have 2. And they're unlikely to use those 2 unless Kansas City gets the touchdown and moves ahead. Chiefs still have that 1, but the timeouts don't matter, and the clock doesn't matter right now. All that matters is 4th down for Kansas City, and they need 10 yards to keep it going. 19-13, San Francisco. So the 49ers, if they win this game, are still alive for the playoffs, because the Giants losing to St. Louis, if that game ends up with St. Louis winning, the Giants suffer their loss. Detroit loses. Tampa Bay would have to lose next week. But let's see if the Niners can survive here. 4th and 10. Kenny intercepted by Ronnie Lott down the sideline. Ronnie Lott still going, and he may go all the way. Ronnie Lott, touchdown. No flags down. $78 yards for the touchdown to win it for San Francisco and wrap it up. And what a dramatic finish to this ball game.
It's one of the things that Ronnie Lott did so many times for the 49ers last year. And, you know, we talked once again about being put into a situation that you are uncomfortable with, and that is the case for the Chiefs, having to come from behind with a conservative offense. You have to make the big plays in the last part of the ball game. Ronnie Lott coming over, intercepting the ball that was intended for Anthony Hancock, doing an excellent job breaking back across the field. 78 yards later, touchdown for the 49ers.
And a whistle. Penalty flag down on Wersching's conversion attempt before the kick. So last week, the Kansas City Chiefs converted 2 interceptions for touchdowns against the Denver Broncos, and now they see it done against them. Ronnie Lott, in his second year from Southern California, one of 3 great rookies.
Encroachment defense. A 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
5-yard penalty encroachment will take place after the kickoff for Ronnie Lott, his 2nd interception of the year and the first touchdown on an interception for the 49ers this season. Wersching's conversion is good. And the San Francisco 49ers now lead at 26-13. The big play, Ronnie Lott's 78-yard interception.
And you get a look at how Ronnie Lott looks at this particular pass pattern. The ball coming out for Hancock. Hancock slipped a little bit, but Lott did an excellent job of reading it, catching the ball in his hands, heading up the near sidelines, seeing some Chiefs coming over. He cuts back over, and 78 yards later, touchdown for the San Francisco 49ers. 78 yards. Good moves.
Cut across the green. Ron Ferrari with a fine block. Ferrari, Jervis was there. And Ronnie Lott goes in, 78-yard interception return. And the place empties out. Arrowhead Stadium, 11 seconds remaining, and the San Francisco 49ers keep their playoff hopes alive, slim as they may be. The Giants must lose one of the two remaining games, and they're trailing St. Louis. We'll get an update on that score, Giants-Cardinals, before we get off the air. In the fourth quarter, it's 17-14 in favor of St. Louis, so they may have to sweat that one out. 7 seconds on the clock, but it's all academic now. The Chiefs will go back on offense. Ronnie Lott coming back following the big interception. So the 49ers, with a victory here, will go 3-5. They have to play and beat the Rams next week at Candlestick Park. It would give them, if they win next week, a 3-2 conference record, which would come in awfully handy on a tiebreaker. But in order for that to happen, the Giants have to lose the game they're playing against the Cardinals. They're trailing by 3 with 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, or next week to Philadelphia. And then Tampa Bay has to lose next week in their finale. And they're chasing Galliano, Bob Galliano, the third-string quarterback, and the gun sounds. That's the end of the ball game. And the San Francisco 49ers have defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 26-13. Final score 26-13, thanks to our spotter Marty Aronoff. Coming up next, the Dallas Cowboys play host to the Philadelphia Eagles from Texas Stadium. For Jim Hill, Dick Stockton saying so long from Arrowhead Stadium. And coverage of the NFL will continue after this word from your local station.
Fly the friendly skies of United, where you can reserve your seat when you reserve your flight.
Row 6 on the aisle. Bravo, United.
This is CBS.